It's Wounded Warrior Night here at Memorial Stadium. How you doing, folks? Derek Work, the Big D. Yes, indeed, I brought the Tiger hat back, but only because it's a Big D. Obviously not because their success or lack of. Here we are, week number 8. Memorial Stadium, of course, CPHS Channel 6, EBW.TV, and, of course, myself, the Big D. Coming in tonight, a very winnable game, I think, for the Huskies. Sterling Heights Stallions come in. They're at the bottom of the barrel in the MAC Gold, just like the Huskies. 0-4 versus 0-4. Basically a game to get out of the cellar. Again, when it comes to the Huskies, this is what your momentum. You need to use this as both momentum and motivation, baby steps to come out of last place and at least get something respectable before the season ends. And again, you look at it. 3 years ago, 1 win. 2 years ago, 2 wins. Keep going up in small steps and improve your football team. Basically, motivation, momentum needs to happen again for next week, but you cannot think of next week. You got to play hard, though. You got to get this win to go into next week with to give your team a little bit of confidence. Of course, I speak of the big one, Big Reds, Huskies next week, Battle of Port Huron. I can't wait for this one. But first things first here. And looking at the Huskies now, they're 2 straight losses. East China Stadium, both games. St. Clair and also Marine City. Matheson of Marine City, fantastic last week. Jared Matheson, number 1 player as voted on by the Times-Herald in the area. He only had single-digit rushes, 150-plus yards last week against the Huskies. That tells me a couple of things. One, Matheson, basically, they're not finishing the tackle on that guy. Now, 91-yard return for Matheson last week on the rush. Basically, one play does the Huskies in all the time. Got to finish your tackling on these backs. Fill holes if you're linebackers. Stop them from getting through the defensive line. Tonight, a little bit easier to challenge on that, and that's exactly what the Huskies need, I think. Finally, again, improving tackling, I think, has been their Achilles heel for a long time. Injuries, other things, intangibles. Throw that right out now. Your game and your season is a 2-game season right now. This one against Sterling Heights, next week against Port Huron, the rivalry game. They have to be considered, both of them, playoffs. So there you go. Again, need momentum, need a win tonight to go into the rivalry game next week. Derek Work, Big D, CPHS Channel 6. Happy Wounded Warrior Night. Great cause, folks. And the Huskies come up next. And when we last saw those Huskies, it was homecoming, and an absolutely crazy homecoming that we all enjoyed immensely. It's hunting season, as a last-second touchdown reception from Ryan Hunt sent the Memorial Stadium crowd into an absolute frenzy and sent Husky fans home happy. Well, tonight, a very winnable game for the Huskies, as struggling again, Sterling Heights comes to town. Will we see more magic from Hunt? Will the Huskies solve the tackling issues they faced a week ago and prepare themselves for next week's big rivalry game versus Port Huron? We find out next on this same Big D time, same Big D channel indeed. Big D, he comes alive at 7:05. Just about to do that too. How you doing, folks? Again, this is a production of CPHS Channel 6, EBW.TV, and Vimeo.com, where the Channel 6, the new site there, is up and running to recap all the games, see past productions of Channel 6, not just games either. They've got a lot on there. Vimeo.com. Go check it out. Search engine and CPHS Channel 6 Port Huron. Well, I am the Big D again. Happy to be here for a great night and a great cause. Wounded Warrior Project, they call it. It's a nonprofit organization whose mission is to honor and empower wounded warriors. Thousands of wounded warriors and caregivers receive support each year through these programs and services designed to nurture the mind and body and encourage economic empowerment and engagement. Kickoff here, Vastbinder tries to fool Sterling Heights Stallions, and let's get nasty Port Huron. But the Stallions, they're equal to that nasty task. They get that squib, onside kick, if you will. Vastbinder again trying to fool them. Can't quite do it. Sterling Heights begins on their 49. Great field position for them. And those Sterling Heights Stallions, just 1-8 a season ago. Currently 1-6 this year, but also 0-4 in the MAC Gold, as mentioned. They list their team strength as their team unity. Odd to say that's their team strength, the unity, but to each their own. Here's the tackling issues I'm talking about, but a big hole to start. Bump down by Martindale, 25, but a first down, tons of yards, and a great first play for Sterling Heights as number 11, Darrow Sanders, their captain, takes it, and in a big way. To the 25, gain of 26, first down, Sterling Heights. Good field position to begin this one. And here you see just nobody around the outside really. And avoiding tackle again, there you see, missed a couple more. And then Martindale bumped him. From the 25, first and 10. Huskies look like they're showing a blitz here. Linebacker position, there they come. Yup, pass outside, caught, right. 18, maybe 17-yard line. So Sterling Heights certainly does not look like a 1-6 football team, at least on drive number 1 here. They don't look like they're, afraid to just go right at the Huskies, attack them. And I expect the Huskies to do that on their own version of offense, or this could be a long night. Got to the 14 here. So it'll be second down from there. Looks like 3 or 4. Now they're saying 5. 11 and 23 to go in the first. We just started. It's a reverse this time. Quarterback, the leading blocker, around side 20. 15 now cuts up 10. 5 dives forward and close, but I think he's down at the 1-yard line. And a first down, Sterling Heights as 23, Daquan Oliver on the reverse. Word is this coaching staff to start the year on Sterling Heights. They were very encouraged, but with just one win to show for it, things haven't exactly gone the way they've wanted. Certainly it has on this opening drive here, as Daquan Oliver this time almost gets in. Lowered through, couldn't quite get in, but it's first and goal from the 1 for Sterling Heights. Low snap, thought about going, now the side flip, bumped a little bit late. You could technically call something there. But again, if it's in the process, no problem. So that'll bring up second down now and goal from there. So interesting to see if they just continue to do stuff like this. I would just run it right up the gut, really. Just first and goal. They just need 1 yard here. So Sterling Heights certainly has come out looking very impressive. Easy opening run. Getting the passing game involved. They had a nice reverse there. They want this game, you can plainly tell. Give, tailback, lowers through, 1, no, touchdown. Sterling Heights gets in, 11 again, Daryl Sanders. Very much the catalyst on this drive, right down the field, and the Huskies' struggles defensively certainly do continue. Anyway, the Stallions, offense led by quarterback Jacob Ciccone, but the players who carry most of the weight, running backs right there, Daryl Sanders, and as well, running back Dakari Walden. Sanders more the power type runner, and they're also led up front by their center, Austin Ayer. I'd read off the Husky D, but this drive happened so fast and got in the end zone, we're going to have to do that a little bit later. Anyway, extra point try. It's good. So this, not really the start that Coach Kano wanted to see on Wounded Warrior Night. Same defensive struggles for the Huskies. So just like that, not even a minute of football gone in the quarter. Barely got in, but that's all it takes sometimes. I tell you, that's a borderline touchdown too. Depending on the ball. All you have to do is break the plane of that line. That's it. But they say he got in, and end of the day, that's all that really counts. Our reports here in Northern Huskies, 2-5 overall this year, but again, like the Stallions, 0-4 in the gold. Again, as part of their 50th senior class in Port Huron Northern history. So celebrating that fact again on this Wounded Warrior evening. The offense, when we see the Huskies here in a moment, going to be led by number 4, of course. Quarterback Kyle Birch leads the way. Smart QB certainly has the tools, but it's a matter of, protecting him and hoping that the offense doesn't go down by too much too early, as they're already down 7-0. Last time I saw the Huskies, of course, number 8, Clinton Massey, getting the majority of the carries for them. But Travis Hughes, the backup, and really the back of the future. And I think he's got a nice future, depending on how they continue to use him. Wideouts, anything from senior 3, Martindale, 16, Ryan Hunt, 22, Tanton Elliott, and 12, often the kick returner, Nabosny. Killian, 75, Vassbinder, 72, and 54, Mahaffey on the offensive line. Kickoff now, let's get nasty, Port Huron. It's on the bounce. They've got to come get it here. Look out. They touch the ball. Down 21. And they keep the football. Goodness, that's all they need. So all of this, one drive already for Sterling Heights, brought the ball 51 yards in 1 minute. Actually, less than 1 minute, because just 1 minute officially has ticked off the first quarter clock now. Big D Derek Wark, CPHS, the Port Huron Area School District television station, and happy to be broadcasting again on Wounded Warrior Night. You can't say it enough because it's a great cause. It really is. And each player playing for a different Wounded Warrior on the all-yellow jerseys to the outside here. Big play early, Huskies. 40 pushed out 42. Number 11, Travis Hughes. Good run on first down. Nice job. I tell you, if holes continue to be this big as the game progresses and defenses don't make tackles as the game continues to go along, we could be seeing offenses do whatever the heck they want, particularly on the rush, where we've already seen a couple carries and pretty easy yards for the tailbacks going through. First and 10, 39. Big hole, collapses though, and ends up being a pretty good play here by Sterling Heights defensively, as 15 the tackle, or among them, Jacob Cadle. Well, defensively, Sterling Heights led up front by defensive end Darryl Sanders, of course, their captain, and one of their big players, number 11. Another player to watch for them is in the middle, linebacker Andrew Zed Bala. As crowd underneath me has a defense sign. The D and the fence, and it's a big D if you're wondering. Birch, fake the throw, now a keeper. Good wheels outside, cuts through, downed, 50, past midfield 49. And it looks like Sterling Heights, the 48, makes the tackle. But Birch, pretty good second effort there to get the first down. Beginning of the year, I was thinking, obviously great move, Huskies joining the MAC Gold. Not just in terms of competition, which I believe a lot closer to them and their abilities, but a lot of it also has to do with the fact that it's less travel, more local games, more rivalry games. Birch passing middle, and did they get a piece of that? I don't think they did. Just slightly thrown too far to the right of Colby Nabosny, the intended receiver there. And that'll bring up second down. Good thing that the Huskies moving the ball a little bit here as well. Because the fact is, gives the defense a bit of a break here to kind of rethink what happened. Try and improve as they come out the second time here. Again, 7-0. Sterling Heights just underway. We've got movement all over the place. The tackle definitely moved. The question is, did Sterling Heights draw him or did he make contact? They're pointing to Sterling Heights' side, and it is encroachment defense. Pushing Sterling Heights back a bit, and our Northern Huskies going right to left on your screen, forward. So my big question is, what do you think of these uniforms, these Wounded Warrior ones? They come out every year, kind of a new look. All yellow look, or maize if you will. Not really clear numbers. Kind of a sporty look to the numbers, too. Anyway, 2nd and 5. Always kind of neat as they do this specially. Movement again, it's going to be likely false start offense, although I think they're pointing to Sterling Heights again. They are again. Automatic first down here by the looks of things. After a 2nd and 5, it's going to be first down. A couple early gifts here for Northern. As this game goes along, by the way, too, I'll do my best to read off some of the Huskies and who they're playing for tonight. Ryan Hunt, the quarterback, playing for Brian Ergang. Always nice to see. And these players, what they do is they buy these jerseys and then donate them afterward. So it's a great cause all around. Play fake this time. Kyle Birch, keeper. 30, 25, 20. Outside left, he's going to score. 10, 5, Birch, touchdown. Huskies, yes sir. Bye. Well, that's not the first time, obviously, on this drive that worked. And it looked like he kind of did something similar there. Just cutting through guard and tackle, it's nothing special. But he's waiting a little bit to check kind of first at what's going on. Kind of faking to one side, then going to the other, and he had a whole lot of open field once that line opened the hole for him, cut through it, and then nothing over there. And this might sound a little bit strange, and you've stumped the big D, okay? Ever since warm-ups to my right, there's been a duck quacking. Yeah, I know, it sounds twisted. Somebody's truck, I think. A quacking duck. Okay, that's a new one. I don't know. There you see the run again by Birch, though. There's nobody there. Again, after he goes through the line. That's where secondary's got to step up, and there's no linebackers to speak of. So both defenses, really, in my opinion, so far, have looked kind of weak. Because it's basic running plays. It's nothing special. Although you can argue, well, Big D, Sterling Heights, the reverse on their opening drive. Yeah, sure, they did a little bit of razzle-dazzle, but, you know, their big one to set it up, Darryl Sanders, almost went all the way, almost got in from 50-plus out. Just too easy. There you see some of the big meat eaters up front. The big Huskies, the offensive linemen, they're happy about punching in right there and tying this one up at 7, as we all are too. And the quacking duck is too. I don't know if you can hear it, but, well, we'll just stop talking about the quacking duck, okay? Sounds good. 9 and 42 ticks to go in the first quarter. Yeah, quack, quack to you and yours, pal. Anyway, Vastbinder setting up this time for the next kickoff. He tried the squib kick a moment ago. Is he going to try it this time? A little bit farther. Anyway, let's get nasty, Port Huron. Kickoff taken. Tries to just lower his head the whole way on the run. 35, maybe 36. Tackle made Ryan Hunt, number 16. Well, Northern leads this all-time series, 7-6. So they have played before. I think it goes back to when Sterling Heights was in the MAC Blue, as Huskies in recent past years have spent most of their time in the blue. 10-plus years ago, of course, Huskies were in the white, if you can remember that, in more successful times. But Sterling Heights was predicted to finish in dead last in the gold this season. It's a fake again. QB keeper around left side, drag down, finally they make a tackle, and maybe now they'll settle down a bit. As 42, and I really like the way this guy plays, by the way, Zach Cohn. He's a terror all over the place. And is that a Northern Husky hat? Looks like it is. Nice looking hat there. They got the white color going there. Usually similar to the Wolverines, kind of a maize and blue kind of a look for them. Low snap on this 2nd down and 6. Keeper again, cut back. And a lot of yards again. 40, pushed out of bounds, 37. Look out, wall down there. First down. As number 9, Jacob Ciccone made that look pretty easy. Martindale the tackle. Watch the unnecessary roughness over there, the wall. There you see a low snap, gets through here. And really that tackle, see, he's going through there. That has got to be made. It does. Winning teams make that tackle right smack dab at the line. And the reason they do is because you're going through an arm. You're going through arms to make it. This to the outside, no Husky over there. 25, 20, in, 18, and maybe the 17-yard line for another first down. And this Jacob Ciccone, I'll tell you right now, he's running at will. He really is. If the Huskies do win this football game, though, big gift for both teams, really, the way their defenses have come out. Both teams then would finish where they were predicted in the Detroit papers, both of them, the Free Press and the News, as they both said Huskies would be second last and Sterling Heights would be dead last. But like the Huskies, Sterling Heights, though, over the years, not just this season, but a lot of seasons, they've had a ton of injuries. And injured football teams are not successful football teams, as we have a timeout on the field here with 8:45 left. The Bloodhound. This is not an eye test, if you're wondering. Bloodhound, he passes all eye tests. And to be up there running the slow-mo cam, he's got to have good eyes, because big fella in the truck down there, E.J. Shea, running the slow-mo, he demands nothing less than a guy who can see, and see very well, because, you know, E.J. not really a young man anymore. Maybe he can't see as well. That's why guys like the Bloodhound, they're up there running it and doing a great job up there, Bloodhound. Still, though, I didn't need to see the inside of his retina. That's for sure. Anyway. Yeah, no thanks, CPHS, for that one. Coming off the timeout, anyway. By the way, very windy down on the field, too. You don't really get that up here in the booth, but once I was down there, I tell you, it really is blowing hard. Hand off to a backup running back this time, but they eat it alive. Hunt among tacklers. Other tacklers there, I believe, Vassbinder, the talented big linebacker, also made the tackle. As the public address announcer, so said a pack of Huskies on the tackle. Couldn't agree more. The defense, mostly a 3-4 with front line names like 51 Nesbitt, 54 Mahaffey. Pat McGuffin went down with injury week 3. Injury issues continue to plague this football team, and he was a big, big loss. Probably the biggest all season. He's got definite talent, and we expect to see that continue to just plain grow as Pat McGuffin's career continues along here at Northern, despite the fact he won't be playing anymore this year. Offside encroachment defense.
Offsides against the Huskies.
Against the Huskies. And if anything, too, on these first 3 drives of the game, 2 from Sterling Heights, 1 from our Huskies. Lots of offsides, both line play. Very sloppy game from a defensive point of view thus far. Offenses are doing whatever the heck they want, really. Sterling Heights operates in a run and shoot with a man in motion here on 2nd and 5. Play fake to that man in motion. Now the give to the back. In. Touchdown, Devin Cleghorn. Number 5. Well, for Sterling Heights, 5 is alive. I know that this is a MAC Gold team, and I know that they're 0-4, but I haven't seen a team move the ball this easily on the Huskies all year long. I don't know what's going on. I really don't. I understand they've had a tough year so far, but Sterling Heights offensively, to me, particularly on the rush, they're doing whatever they want to in this first quarter here. Extra point is up and good. 14-7. And a relatively easy 14 points for Sterling Heights. But don't fret, fans of the Huskies, because on their first drive, they moved her right down well, too. There's the Channel 6 bus. A little bit of action down there. Is that Shelly Sinek? It is. She said before the game, Big D, can I please take your photo and tweet it? I don't know. I'm not really into Twitter, but sure. Why not? A woman of many talents, Shelly Sinek. Good to see you tonight, Shelly. Her husband, Ed, of course, running everything down there. He hates admitting to running the whole shebang and everything down there, but I tell you, that Husky band, deafening in the Big D's ears. So you know what? They're doing their job. If that's the case, they're doing their job. Another, group of people, if you will, doing their job in this game. Sterling Heights offensively. Doing a great job so far. Winning at the line, although that's not fair, between the quarterback, Ciccone, Daryl Sanders as well. They're hopping through the holes quick before the defensive line of the Huskies even knows, what hit it. Anyway, we'll see if the Huskies can answer in a game so far dominated by offense and dominated by one other thing, I hope. Let's get nasty, Port Huron, and I think they're going to. Aaron Martindale, 2015, 10-5. Bye. Yes. Touchdown, Huskies. Well, he found a seam and then let loose with speed. That's how you do it. That is flat out how you do it, Aaron. No flags, folks. Field is clean. That will stand. He's a dynamic athlete. There's no doubt. Sarah Vanderhoovel. They have a late substitution going on here. Vassbinder checking in late. Now they're going to let it go here. Sarah Vanderhoovel, as we hear the pack chant their patented Sarah. She puts it up and kind of stopped and stuttered as she went through, but it did. 14-14. So we don't get to see the Husky offense but they didn't even have a drive. Who cares? They didn't need a drive. Let's get nasty, Port Huron. I guess so, as here goes Martindale. Straight at you, right to left. Through there. Really, he went through one hole
Good sportsmanship is
and
valued
two
by the
players.
Fort
That's
Huron
it.
District. We are pleased you chose to
And then it's a
support
foot
your
race
team
with,
this
what is that,
evening.
the
Please do
kicker?
so by refraining from negative yells,
7 there,
comments
Saba
directed
Saba.
at athletes, coaches, fans,
And I
or
apologize
other
if that's not his name. Saba Saba. That's what the program here states, so I'm going to go with that one. But Martindale through. And great to see. As Martindale playing tonight for Pete Martindale as part of the Wounded Warrior Project. Going to try and name off as many of those as I can tonight. Carter Schwartz playing for Sergeant Dwight Boucher as well.
Michael's Park here, Cheap Charlie's Restaurant, then Jimmy John's, Bronze, Huron Dental.
Again, Ryan Hunt, I said it earlier, I think I said maybe Kyle Birch, but Ryan Hunt for Brian Ergang. Kyle Birch is playing for Ulysses Grant Birch III. It's also senior night here, or at least they said that on the program. Could very well be senior night next week as well. But it's the rivalry game, and I'll have plenty to talk about. So that's something I'm going to try and get in here too tonight, is read off the seniors and pay a little bit of a tribute to them. So lots on the plate here for the Big D and CPHS, but that's just the way we like it. What else do we like? Let's get nasty, Port Huron. 25-30, 35. That's a head tackle, could call a face mask, and I think they missed it. Well, the side judge there, I think, reached into his pocket and then didn't pull it out. When you usually see a referee do that and they can't get the flag, a lot of times they'll throw their hat as a substitute, but I don't think he was going to throw it anyway there. Anyway, again, the rest of that Husky D. 72 Vassbinder lines up at linebacker, their senior leader. 74 Nick Miller, 30 Adam Shire, 42 Zach Cohn. Sheridan is 55 as well. More, the rest of the names here in a moment. Around left side, avoiding tackle again. Gain of 15, 16, maybe 17 to the 44. Easy first down, Sterling Heights. 23 to Quan Oliver.
Brought down by Artez Hadley.
And I'm not joking. First one to 50 wins? It's easily looking that way, and if you're wondering, I'm not joking, and there's plenty of time on the clock to do it, too, the way these offenses are operating right now. There you see two, I think, defensive linemen for the Huskies. They bought the play fake. And then from there, see, you got to make that tackle. You just do. From the 43, 1st and 10. To pass, lots of time, airs it out deep, and overthrows. Wide open player there, 23, Daquan Oliver. That could be why they're running the ball and continuing to do it so easily. Because the pass tonight is just not the friend of Sterling Heights by the looks of things. Might not be their strength, but again, it's not really pass-friendly weather. It's really blowing down there. And that equals run. It does.
We have a veteran chain gang crew out here tonight. Let's have a nice hand from these guys out here in all types of weather. They do this.
Well, Northern has had trouble tackling. I've mentioned it enough. But from a defensive standpoint and points given up, they've allowed 30 points or more in each game. But they've also allowed 40 points in 5 different games. 40 plus, actually. This might be half the distance. On second down, brings up third. 26. They're getting all kinds of tailbacks involved. And you know they definitely are when that is Josh Davis there. Freshman. That's nice to see. I never argue when I see freshmen playing in there on any team, really. Not just for the Huskies. Anyway, like I said, 55 Sheridan, 23 Jacob Melberg, some other names you'll hear, and the rest of the defense going to name the secondary off here in just a moment. Left side, good drag down tackle. That's a lot better, gentlemen. 35 from behind there. That's how you do it because you got to be careful. You don't pull on the neck area or use the helmet. That's a fine job by 42. Zach Cohn brings up 4th down for Sterling Heights. And really, one of the few open field tackles that this defense has made so far in the first as we see the replay here. An off tackle run from the inside. Drifts out, and that's just a fine job from behind. That is. Excellent job there, Zach. They're saying officially 4th and 2. Looks more like 3 or 4. Sterling Heights in run formation. They tried the hard count. Can't get Northern to jump. They call timeout. So both teams, by the looks of things, have used one timeout. And with 4 and 59 ticks to go, as the scoreboard over there to my right says, simply stop them. 14-14. We're tied here at Memorial on Wounded Warrior Night. Derek Work, Big D. CPHS Channel 6, as we see some of the coaching staff there for the Northern Huskies. Don't forget about BigDSports.info as well, where I blog about these games. Why? Because I can. BigDSports.info. Was forced to blog about kind of a tough Big Red loss a week ago. Congrats, though, and props to Romeo, man. They came in here, and really they trounced a dominating 5-1 football team. I was shocked to see the Big Reds play like that. So out of their element, unsportsmanlike calls, tons of penalties. It just wasn't their night. So far, not really their night either for the Husky D here. But thanks to the Husky O, they're staying in it. But here, it's too many yards, really. They're just not quick enough getting side to side. This might be a fumble on the field here, though. Sterling Heights pointing their way. Well, you do anyway, right? The Huskies just aren't showing me enough speed to the outside to counter the rushing quarterback, Ciccone, and the tailbacks right now. 5 eventually there, David Cleghorn did come up with the football. There was a slight fumble on the field, I think. But really, it's too many yards, too many easy yards because of the initial gap they're getting from the line out. And then it's a matter, again, of angle running. But by then, they've already gained 10, 15. Something they've got to shore up, especially for next week. Because the Big Reds love to rush the football. And believe me, they do it better than this. Right when I say that, though, Vastbinder, 72, makes a fine tackle. 52 as well, Ethan Booms. I love that football name. Booms! There you go. Here's a look again. We'll see if he fumbled the football here. Vastbinder eventually gets to him. Well, he did drop it, yeah. 3 Martindale. I'm sure he'd like to have that one back because he's lying there right in the vicinity of the football. We'll talk about Sterling Heights and what they've done this year, their schedule here in just a moment. And it has not been very successful. Let's just say that first and foremost. In motion against Sanders. It's a fake. They go the other way on a counter play. Hammered. Nice job. 15-yard line. Well, that's a lot better. Again. As 54 got him again. Mike Mahaffey this time. To our final 3 and 44. There you see the scoreboard. 14-14. Well, week 1, Sterling Heights, they lost August 28th to Edsel Ford. 40-16. They got blown out September 6th to Warren Woods Tower, 40-7. But again, Darius Jordan, difficult player to stop. He was here week 3, and he was very good here week 3. 3rd and 5, no problem. Straight up, straight down. It gets to the 5, 1st and goal. Ciccone, more of a rushing quarterback and more of a rushing offense than a passing one. Full house across the field for me, as expected on Wounded Warrior Night. Bit of a shocker September 12th for Sterling Heights as they almost pulled out a massive Mac Gold upset over St. Clair, losing just 32-31. Would that have been a major upset? St. Clair, one of the favorites going in this year. Darrow Sanders, it's a pretty good tackle made by Ryan Hunt there, right at the 1, to stop Darrow Sanders from getting in there for what would be, I believe, his 2nd touchdown of the evening already. But yeah, 32-31, they almost pulled the massive upset over the Saints. That would have been huge for them, too. Well, there you see, like a lot of Huskies are getting beat right now off block. If anything, they're falling down even. 2nd and goal from the 1. Ciccone lowers his head and no official word yet. He's really close, I'll tell you that. Now they say touchdown. Ciccone is in. The way Bits down there, pop that graphic up. She knew early, folks. She knew early that it was a touchdown for Mr. Ciccone down there. Injured Husky on the field. That's 3, Aaron Martindale. And that would be certainly a big loss. We hope it's not serious. And you can tell he's a great player, if not the way he's played already with that kickoff return a moment ago. But look at all the stickers for good plays that he's got on the back of his helmet there. Well, you can add a few more. You'll definitely get one for the kickoff return. And keep that in mind too, folks. Watch Martindale kick returning for the rest of this game. Then again, after this injury, some bad news for the Huskies if he can't return due to the fact that clearly showed a lot of lightning in that return touchdown a moment ago. Sterling Heights, extra point try here to go up another touchdown again. Huskies have not stopped the Stallions yet on any drive. They're not even close to doing it, really. Extra point is up and good. Every time Sterling Heights has scored, the Huskies have found an answer. Can they do it again? We'll see. 2:17 to go in the first. One of the camera operators this evening. I believe it's Cecilia Galio. I believe. If I've got it wrong, Big D apologizes, but I don't think I do. And she might be in place of the Ox, who has it all over Facebook, rubbing it in about what a great time he's having in, I think it's Mexico, where I think we'd all rather be in Mexico right now. He's on his honeymoon, so he walked the Green Mile a week ago, and he's celebrating it. There's a happy camper. Dressed warm. Hi, buddy. Waving to us. He's got a nice warm jacket on tonight. And it might get cool as the night continues. But yeah, anyway. Ox, having a great time in Mexico. Living it up. And that's the way to do it, boy. If you're going to live it up. There you go. Anyway, Sterling Heights, September the 19th, they then beat Lamphere 26-14. Their only win of the season, although the way their offense is going right now, they might be on pace for their second. Utica 4 to the White beat them 56-30. A team that the Big Reds earlier this season trampled. I think we have an offside here on the onside kick surprise from Sterling Heights trying to catch the Huskies. A little bit nervous, antsy maybe, and shocked, quite frankly. I don't think they did, though. Either way, they're offside on the kickoff, so back them up 5.
Offside call against the Stallions.
On October the 3rd, they got laid out by Marine City, 42-18. But you know what? Everybody's getting laid out by Marine City these days. And it's a tough year to join the MAC Gold in the case of the Huskies. There you see the replay, by the way. Doesn't really matter. Huskies did look kind of shocked there. They weren't really prepared for that one. Didn't matter anyway. They knew it was offside. But anyway, getting back to my point about joining the MAC Gold, next year would be better when you think about Alex Merchant and Jarrett Matheson. They're 2 superstar seniors. They're going to be gone next year, so better year for Northern next year. They tried the squib kick again, drops the football, but falls on it. It depends what goes on bottom of the pile here. And that's very dangerous because I think it's inside a Husky player's legs. And that leaves it wide open for Sterling Heights to grab, and they think they have the football. And it's the correct call if they do, because the last I saw a Husky jump down on that ball, he did it with his legs. Sterling Heights gets up with it. There was really only one Husky there. 32, Logan Culp, and he couldn't hold on. You know what, though? Fool me once, fool me twice, right? You try an onside kick a moment ago. You got to think that if they try this again, your players on the front line, they've got to make this play. It's that simple. And the way that this offense, this Sterling Heights offense, is running the football tonight, you need all the breaks you can get, especially if they're risking giving you half the field for field position. Husky D has got to start, making some stops here. They send the man in motion again. Pump fake. Keeper Ciccone gets to the outside. Martindale's over there. This time, though, Martindale and company gonna get the sack, and that's a fact, Jack. 3 Martindale among them, as mentioned. Vassbinder over there as well. And I believe 52, Ethan Booms again. So a whole horde of them. 52 Booms, by the way, playing in honor tonight of PFC Saunders as part of the Wounded Warrior program for the Huskies. And a great cause. I've said it enough. Veterans of the U.S. Just because I'm Canadian doesn't mean I don't have respect for them, because I do. Wholeheartedly, I respect what they do for both countries. Past veterans, veterans of now, certainly, thank you for your service. And I call it as it is for both countries, both nations. Running play here to the Husky 49 among tacklers 16, Ryan Hunt of the Huskies. And big third down play here for this Husky D. If for nothing else, they need to prove it to themselves that they can make tackles and make a stop here. 3 drives for Sterling Heights. They've punched in on every one of them. They need this stop. It's time to step it up here. Do they show blitz? Do they come after them? Or do they stay right where they are? We'll see. Run and shoot look with 4 wide, 2 on both sides and 1 back. Passing, Ciccone, airing it out. Little pass in the flat. Got to earn it though. Dragging down from behind. It's a horse collar tackle plus the first down. You're looking at spot of the foul. And another flag comes late too. Is it just because both officials called one of the personal fouls or another personal foul? Well, you pull him down from behind. It's a lack of discipline. You can't do that. The pass was just a little swing out pass. 5 David Cleghorn. Yeah, it's a horse collar tackle initially, and that's all they're calling. Tack on 15, folks. It's a spot of the foul doodad here. They'll get it at the 23. Yeah, they dragged him down. You can't do that. Can't use the helmet, can't use the collar in any form to make a tackle. This, by the way, will be the final play of the first quarter here. A game dominated by offense. If you like scoring, you like this one, including a doozy, a dandy from Aaron Martindale on a kickoff return touchdown. Finally, they stop him in the tracks here. Ryan Hunt among tacklers for the Huskies. Well, we'll be back. Final 5 seconds, now 2, now 1. That's going to do it for the first quarter here. Well, a lot of scoring, not a lot of defense, but so far Sterling Heights has been mostly the benefactor, and Huskies searching for answers defensively. Derek Wark, Big D, back with a second in a moment. A lot of people think football's a rough sport, but I personally think there's a lot of romance in football. How, you ask? Hit somebody big. Make him see beautiful stars. Welcome back. Derek Wark, Big D, CPHS, Channel 6, EBW.TV. Not a lot of hard hitting in this game because there's not been a lot of tackling in this game to make either team see stars. Both offenses kind of doing what they want, especially Sterling Heights offense. Met here by Vassbinder, though, pushing him back in a decent play. Forward momentum, only maybe a yard, if that. And it's going to bring up another big third down play for the Husky defense. Anyway, the corners, by the way, on this defense, too. 16, Ryan Hunt. 3, Martindale. Tanton Elliott, 22. And 6, Bobby Lane. Maybe 2, Connor Schwartz might also see some playing time as I wrap up talking about the rest of the defense. On senior night, Wounded Warrior night, lots going on. Huskies need this win badly. 0-4 Mac Gold against 0-4 Mac Gold. Sterling Heights in town. They set up the middle screen. Lots of blocking, lots of room, lots of yards. 5, down 4. First down Sterling Heights. Cleghorn again, who doesn't seem like a rushing tailback as much as more just a swing player. Receiving tailback in the flat, that kind of thing. And they set this screen up beautifully. Telltale sign again about screens. When you receive the pass, how much space do you have? Do you have open space, and where's your blocking at? If your blockers outweigh the defenders around the space, you've got something special going, and we had that there. They set up Sanders on off tackle. Instead, it's a fake and give right up the middle. That's Cleghorn in the rush. Straight up, straight down to about the 3, maybe the 2. Of course, finishing up the Sterling Heights schedule, they got hammered by Marysville 35-7 last week. Again, the MAC Gold is a talented division, no matter how you look at it. I mean, you've got Marine City, state champs, and they're going to be the favorite probably to win the state again. St. Clair, Marysville, and Warren Woods Tower is no pushover. Then, of course, you've got these two teams struggling, but the front 4 are really decent. That's what I was saying as we see a good Husky stand here defensively. That's more like it, gentlemen. Martindale again on the tackle. 54 as well got up. Mike Mahaffey again. But those top 4 teams, I really think that they can beat the Blue. Any team probably in the MAC Blue. That's how strong the Gold was this year. And word is that Marine City was trying to move up themselves. Not in the MAC, though. They wanted to go somewhere else. I think they wanted to join the Blue Water League. But they got denied from that. I guess their enrollment is too low. One way or the other, though, talented MAC Gold this year. 3rd down and goal from the 4. It's going to be a sack. Look out, the ball's dropped. Northern jumps on it. They have the football. Beautiful 52. Ethan Booms as well. .42, I think, Zach Cohn. And they're calling him Zach Kane. Have I been calling him Cone? I might have been. Anyway, either way, great player. And there you see Martindale going for the sack there. Almost had it. I thought he was going to get it, and the Huskies jump all over it. That is a huge play when you consider field position and everything going right for Sterling Heights offensively. Movement all over the place here on 1st down. So penalty here, going to be half the distance. Huskies going to push them back as we have a false start on them. Well, the Huskies last week, they lost 42-14 to defending state champions, again, Marine City, who basically they looked as strong as ever. Marine City Mariners led by ex-Husky QB Alex Merchant. Marine City, a 28-point first half, and really, they never looked back, and more on that game here in just a moment. Again, another flag. Reading off more of these players here and who they're playing for tonight. Bobby Lane is playing for Sergeant TJ Harness, the Wounded Warriors. 5, Garrett Corey, playing for William J. Wirt II. Clinton Massey for Hunter Potter. Artez Hadley for Raymond King. Among some of them. I'm going to try and get to the seniors too if I can. Might not be able to name off all the Wounded Warriors, but it is an honor and a privilege to have this program to announce during, a game of this program. So definitely we'll try and get to that. And again, Big D being too loud, they've got a cord running through here so I can't shut the booth. Fans yelling up at me. Big D is not always a fan favorite, I'll tell you that. But I accept that. That's the way it goes. Last time I was here and the fans were yelling up at me, they were getting into it with the big man, the Ox, too. Well, it can happen. He's a guy you kind of want to keep on your side, though. despite the fact that he's down there, we mentioned earlier, partying, having a good time down there in Mexico on his honeymoon. Second down and 17 officially. They're going to drop back and pass this one. Almost picked off in and out of the hands of 21, Jordan Garnage of Sterling Heights. It was, as expected last week, a crazy rushing attack from Marine City as they racked up 390 on the ground versus 137 from Northern. Hardly any passing in the game, but Marine City had a ton of penalties apparently. How about 8 for 100 yards, yet still won by 28? Anyway, third down and 17. Passing again, airing it out deep with one-on-one here and overthrows 22, Tanton Elliott. And the Huskies are going to have to punt here from a very dangerous standpoint here on the field. If they even have room to punt this football, they're going to be very close. Very close. Who needs the ox? Well, I thought Suds did. Apparently she doesn't. No? Apparently she thinks she can run that camera, I won't say better than the ox, as good as the ox, we'll say. But there's no mistaking the ox or Emily Desmond. I mean, they're pretty easy to tell apart. Yeah, it's a size thing. Don't tell ox that. Anyway, this one goes out. Wobbly kick, but that's about all you can do when you're punting from way back. I mean, how many yards did they have there? Was it Vassbinder back there punting? Maybe one step from a safety. And some teams, depending on the score, depending on the situation, they will accept a safety from there. But Huskies really don't want to give Sterling Heights any more than they've already done. From the 35, great field position. Anyway, the two Mariner tailbacks last week, they did all the damage. As the number 1 rated player in the area, Jared Matheson went nuts. 5 carries, 164. Gets through, did Cleghorn. Met hard, brought down hard by a few different Huskies. 74 among them, Nick Miller. Anyway, again, I will just say that stat because it's insane. Jarrett Matheson last week for Marine City. 5 carries, 164 yards on 5 attempts. Well, you can see, again, the Huskies having some tackling issues. We can see why Matheson, the great week last week. But he's that good. Play fake to 1. Leading way with the fullback, QB keeper. Shy of the 25 to the 26, brings up third down. This Ciccone, very good rushing QB. He is. Just plain gets the job done. And the tailbacks right now getting good yardage. This team really does seem one-dimensional, though, this Sterling Heights club. And that's fine. They rush the ball well. But when you get up against the front runners here in the MAC Gold, you know, it's pretty tough. It is. Marine City is really a special football team. That's movement up front, no doubt. And not just because the Huskies were pointing. You could see a slight flinch from the right guard there. And it's offside. Sterling Heights. Anyway, Matheson again, 9 yards, touchdown, and an insane 91-yarder. One of his 5 carries. Well, I just said 2 of them. He also had 2 catches for 52 yards. You talk about a big play machine. Also, backup running back Trevor Quand, if you want to call him that, 12 for 71 and 2 one-yard touchdown plunges for Marine City. On third down, they're going to get a first down and more. 15, maybe 14, and late flag comes again. 23 the carry. Daquan Oliver. So you can likely tack on more. Might be on Martindale this time over there making a tackle. But of all defenders tonight for the Huskies, I think maybe Martindale so far has been the best one. And if you want to say that, well, then you can say, certainly you got to consider him the Husky all-around player of the game. Of course, he has that kickoff return for the TD. Lots of fakes, some counters going on right now. They have lined up a few times in run-and-shoot look, and I'm not sure what that call was. I'd have to look at it again from an entire standpoint. But either way, first and goal from the 10. From shotgun, man in motion. Fake one way, it's a counter the other. That's Cleghorn again. really played the role of a second running back, maybe half, maybe full back on that carry, and it's to the 9. Brings up second down.
By number 52, Ethan Boones.
Marine City also in that game last week, a 97-yard interception return, a big-time pick 6. Kyle Birch's stats, he was 12 for 23 for 121 and 1 pick. Tanton Elliott, nice game receiving for Northern, 4 for 70 yards. Hands down, most yardage receiving for the Huskies. Second and goal now, I believe from the 9 to the 6, push back. I think forward momentum got him to the 6 anyway. They're pointing first down. And I don't know why they're pointing first down, as it's third down and goal now. The quarterback, Ciccone, there came back after that play and pointed towards that side as if to indicate first down, but either way, third down now and goal. From the 5 on Wounded Warrior Night, also Senior Night, and football greetings, folks. Big D, Derek Wark, being big, a state of mind, as Huskies show they're coming right after him this time. Third and goal from the 5. Looking, Ciccone looking over the middle, and he threw it right to Ryan Hunt. Very lucky he didn't have that picked off. 16, Hunt, a nice play. And it's going to bring up fourth down. We'll see if they kick now, or if they're going to go for it. I don't see a kicker coming out. Well, the way the defense is played, if you don't get in here, I think you can be encouraged, or at least somewhat, because recently Sterling Heights has been stopping the Huskies a little bit. I think you can think, well, it's not the end of the world if they don't get this. Cut in. Yes, touchdown. Sterling Heights, 26. The carry, Josh Davis.
Touchdown.
Well, what do? Penalties, lack of tackling. These things happen. The game is still young, though. But it seems like we haven't seen the Huskies offense out in an eternity today. Paul Campo was in the booth behind me. That can be scary sometimes. We'll have to wait and see what that's all about in a moment. The extra point is coming with 5 minutes even to go. In the second quarter and first half, Sterling Heights about to go up here by 2 touchdowns. Snap placed down. It's up, kick, and lots of leg on that one. 7, it goes through. Kicker, again, I apologize if I have that one wrong. Saba. Extra point. And it goes through. 28-14, there you see the scoreboard. And here's the replay of the touchdown. Again, lots of counters, lots of off-tackle stuff, lots of fakes. And lots of holes, too. And there I am, Big D. What can you say about the way this has started? Lots of back and forth, pretty good offense, but lack of tackling on the defense. They're not amazing play calls. I think a lot of this counters and fakes and stuff like that I just mentioned, it's working for the most part for Sterling Heights. But again, you can't give them holes like that, not fill those holes, and not expect the results to be like this. So not only does the tackling have to get better, but I think the Huskies have to jump the line better. They got to fill holes better. Linebackers have to jump in. But they've proven at least good special teams play. Aaron Martindale kickoff return, and they might need number 3 again.
Saba kicking off for the Stallions.
Paul Campo always shuts my door. He's a polite individual, too. As he's laughing as he leaves. He's not used to the put-downs. Usually they have Paul Campo way over there in what I call Never Neverland, off to the left, deep in the end zone. But he's doing the in-booth stuff tonight. No Cub tonight. And no Bear, obviously, as he's off this entire year for school. They try and catch the Huskies off guard again. They almost do. Hit off the hands, 51 there. Cullen Nesbitt. Very fortunate, too, for Nesbitt, who's playing tonight in honor of Brandon Adair. Austin Roach playing for Captain Larry Turbish. Travis Hughes, nice run earlier by Travis Hughes, by the way. Guy they're grooming to be their future tailback, playing for Sergeant Chris Hughes. And Colby Nabosny playing for Edward Gorinar, naming off some of the Wounded Warriors. Wounded Warrior Night. Great cause, paying tribute to the great veterans that make our freedoms possible, and in a way, allow us to watch great football. So, thank you again to the veterans. Birch. He kind of hit tackle there, then made a pretty nice move. Came forward, got 5 to the right side. Not too bad at all. Sterling Heights loved the effort over there. 15 among tacklers. Cadle and Robinson as well. Got 3, they're saying. 2nd down and 7. Well, the scoreboard says 6. With 4:33 left to go in the second quarter. 28-14. Sterling Heights. Shotgun look for Northern. Run and shoot. 4 wide. Pass out flat. Caught. They're playing off. Almost a block in the back. I don't think they're going to call it, though. Lowers through decent yardage. Huskies to the 41. Catch made. Colby Nabosny. 1st down. Huskies. He just did lay off, I think, the block in the back there. Really close. He definitely hit him in the back. But you have to be careful that you don't absolutely crush him in the back. Here you see good pass protection there too by Birch. I said that's a big key, keeping him upright. And we didn't see the block there. Speaking of Birch, though, it's a keeper. 30, 25-20, could score. 15, 10-5, Birch, end zone, corner, and he's close. Dives forward. There is a flag back, though, the 34. Good yardage again by Birch and relatively easy yardage. This is the best I've seen Kyle Birch rush the football all year long, certainly. Well, they're going to bring it back. So the Huskies shooting themselves in the foot, especially since very big play. Maybe that's why Birch did take off around that right side due to the hold. Huskies, if you're wondering, 2 timeouts, 3 and 53 to play with here. 2 timeouts could certainly become a big factor as you see the Sterling Heights sidelines now. 3 wide this time for the Huskies. Play fake. Birch the keeper. Lowers through right at center of the field. About the 42, maybe 41. 42 over there among tacklers. Thomas Trotta of the Stallions. I mentioned Tanton Elliott last week. 4 catches, 70 yards. The leading Husky rusher in yardage was Birch. 21 carries, 56 yards. In terms of yards gained, he was the leading rusher. In terms of yards per carry, I think that goes to Travis Hughes getting more carries now at 9 for 40. Martindale, a couple of TDs, hauled in one from 24 out. Also on defense, a 50-yard fumble recovery for a touchdown. So Aaron Martindale continues to at least provide spark for the Huskies in other ways besides offense and defense. Kickoff return tonight, earlier by Martindale, all the way back. And last week, 50-yard fumble recovery on defense. So Martindale finding all ways to try and get Husky. 3rd down and 7. Pass outside, caught. They're playing off him. Martindale, speaking of him, 35-25, still on his feet. Martindale to the 10, the 5, gone. Touchdown, Huskies.
Birch's pass complete to Aaron Martindale.
I just said it. He finds ways. It can be offense, defense, special teams, any one of the 3. And certainly the player of the game thus far for the Huskies. I mean, my word. He was really a strong player last year for this football team. And you knew coming into this year he was going to be a talented senior. He just hasn't really played on successful teams. And in this game, really unsuccessful defensively for both teams. Offense is doing a lot. Huskies trying to keep her close now as Sarah Vanderhoovel kicks it through, yes.
Sarah Vanderhoovel, kick is good.
So, 28-21. It's been all touchdowns. 7 total touchdowns in 22 minutes of football. But this has got to be made here. Like, that's a slip of tackle. That's 1 slip. There's 2. Like, they've got their arms around them. You've got to make those tackles. That's a jump at the feet. 3 men missed tackle that easily could have been made. But again, Martindale, a lanky guy, tall. pretty good build to him. Those types of players, they seem to always find the way to the end zone, and there you go. But if this keeps going the way it's going, I said first one to 50, and it's looking that way, and Martindale could be on pace for an absolute monster game. Tanton Elliott tonight, number 22, playing in memory of Private Thomas Sharp. Bradley Manier, playing for Sergeant Mike Brown. Sarah Vanderhoovel, playing for Lieutenant Sarah Scranton. Logan Culp for Sergeant Robert French as well, to name the players and who they're playing for. Wounded Warrior Evening. There you hear public address announcer over there announcing who Logan Culp playing for, who I just did as well. James Doherty, another one, playing for Fred Helmer. Brandon Leal for Private Benjamin Martin Jr. And Zach Kane, who I've been calling Zach Cohn, playing for Airman 2, Christopher Kane. Great cause, great veterans, and great, exciting game so far. I mean, how can you deny it? Tons of scoring. More scoring than the Fonzie. Let's get nasty, Port Huron. At the 25, fans yelling out, catch the ball. Rip down, nice job, Husky. Special teams here, 8 among them. Clinton Massey. So again, offense is moving the ball. Great pace in this game. Lots of stoppages because there's been lots of scoring and lots of touchdowns. But in knowing that, you have to think. 2:25 on the clock to go 70 yards. There's plenty of time for that. 2 timeouts, and that's one of the other reasons why. Clock starts now with 2:19 left in the first half of play. First and 10, ball mark 30. Outside, drag down, that's a lot better again. And I keep saying a lot better because in this game, as we see Logan Culp make the tackle, in this game it started out, I have to be honest, atrocious. It did. The tackling just wasn't there. Now you see they're jumping the play a little bit. They're stepping up to make the tackle. In football, I have said it for years. You have to be an aggressive team. You have to be aggressive defensively, especially at this level, where passing really is not as dominant as the rush. Timeout, by the way. Huskies called it, I think.
Northern timeout. Thank you.
So it's very important, basically, that you make the initial tackle, or at least smother tackle, wrap the men up, don't let them get any more yardage. But the one thing that I noticed that Port Huron, for instance, does, and they do this so well, is gang tackle. They smother, particularly on kickoffs and kickoff returns. Cecilia Galeo, who's in today as a fill-in job, guess she's enjoying herself. No smile, no nothing, just looking straight up. It looks like she might even need a stool of some kind here. Help her out with height, gentlemen. Help her out. I mean, she's looking up at a 90. Camera is 8 feet high in the air. She's 4 feet. And I know the feeling. Believe me, anyway. Enough talk about that. We won't say. 2nd and 15 from the 25. Shotgun. And they jump. Showing blitz from the outside right, Logan Culp is the culprit. No pun intended. 54, Mike Mahaffey playing for Chuck Mahaffey. Shane Sheraton for George Merkling. Jacob Harvey for Charles Harvey. And Josh Jordan for Sergeant David Jordan, among others. And that's why they're wearing black and yellow tonight, if you're wondering. Wounded Warrior uniforms, specially made, of course. They're going to change uniforms, I believe, next week as they're playing the Big Reds over the middle, right through the zone of the Husky secondary, down to the 38, first down. 18, Justin Voss, the reception. If you lull teams to sleep on the rush, if you do that, then it does open things up because you expect it less. Again, it's not Einstein, it's not rocket science. Fact is, though, when that chance comes, do you convert on it? You know you've got defenses set up for it. And a pretty good throw there by Ciccone. Cleghorn again, outside to the right, 35, maybe 34.
Carrier.
Hunt and 51, Cullen Nesbitt.
Cullen Nesbitt.
Connor Stager playing tonight for Winford Casey. Matt Brown for Joe Andres. Spencer Vassbinder for Ronald Olson. Vassbinder, of course, has been active in this football game. Almost had a turnover earlier, actually. Shotgun, run and shoot. One back. Passing, Ciccone. Complete. Pretty good tackle play here made, really. Playing a little bit closer to the wideouts, and I like that move a lot better. As 42, Zach Kane makes the tackle. A couple of weeks back when East Detroit was in town, as we see actually across the way, Carl Stafford telling Paul Campo, no, this is what button you push. Paul's like, well, I think I do this, Carl. No, you don't. Anyway, because Carl Stafford knows all. He's crazy, Carl Stafford. This was bobbled, reverse, or end around in this case. Nothing doing. Huskies, good job making the tackle. Again, 32, Logan Culp. Anyway, they're over there across the field on top of the other booth because they're setting up, they're preparing for the halftime show, Husky Marching Band. Holding, by the way, against Sterling Heights here.
Holding against the Stallions.
Coach Connell over there declines it. He wants to set up the Stallions in 4th down. And I don't blame them one bit. Well, you could do it either, really. Accept it or not. It looks to me like Sterling Heights is just going to run this clock down. They're going to be happy with going out into the locker room up 7. Maybe call a timeout beforehand and punt the football. Again, this is where a visible play clock would make the Big D very, very happy right now. Just to see what their timeout situation is based on the clock. Because you can't at this level with no play clock going. Anyway, they do call a timeout here eventually. 16.3 ticks on the first half clock. Again, Big D, Derek Wark, CPHS, Channel 6, EBW.TV, and Channel 6, of course, is on Vimeo.com. And on Vimeo.com, they broadcast the game as it was broadcast on CPHS Channel 6
Just a reminder,
to a par.
is open under the West Bleachers. They have hot dogs, pizza, popcorn, soft drinks, and candy.
16.3 seconds left in the second quarter. Sterling Heights up one possession. They called the timeout, but they're not going to punt off the timeout. They're going to maybe try something. And why not? They've moved the ball all half, mostly on the rush though, but we'll see. This will likely be the final play of the half. Well, they do have one timeout actually, so we'll see. Passing outside, they tried a bit of a wideout screen, very late to develop because the pass was behind them too much. And they immediately use, I believe, their next timeout.
By Ryan Hunt.
And I'm not sure Ciccone really threw that where Sterling Heights wanted that ball to be thrown in the first place, because that's set up like a wideout screen in the sense that the wideout out there you don't throw to is the immediate blocker, and they cut in with it. But because the pass was so far to the left and behind the actual wideout, well, you get what you had there. As Big D takes a sip of the Meyer Spring Water supplied by Channel 6. Tried to get one earlier. It was more ice than water. I said, geez, Bits, what are you doing to the fridge over there at Channel 6? Anyway, thrilled to death to hear that as always. Sterling Heights thrilled in other ways because of a first down here. Barely. They needed the chains to decide it, but 8.5 seconds. I think the Huskies are very fortunate here that it's just 8.5 seconds left here. One play left. Final 4 seconds. Now 3. Ciccone pass middle, bounces, and they do have time for one play left. A half a second. as Big D has a serious coughing fit. But I saw the clock tick off more than just where it was supposed to. Really, I think there's probably at least, I'd say, a second and a half. So I think Sterling Heights a bit robbed on this one. They're going to try a field goal here, by the way. Saba to do the kicking from 45 out. So this is a long one for this level. We've seen it a few times this year. The kick. It's up. And does it have enough leg? No. As far as left to right, it was dead on, but just not enough leg. It's tough from back there. Field goal kicking is always a task. Believe me, I'd know. Anyway, 28-21 after one half complete from Memorial Stadium on Wounded Warriors Night. And visiting Sterling Heights, one touchdown lead. Can the Huskies improve, particularly in the defensive area of tackling? We shall see. Big D Derek Wark back with the third in a little bit. Enjoy the halftime show. Wounded Warriors.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your over 200-member 2013 Fort Huron Northern Marching Band under the direction of Eric St. Major, field leadership of Senior Drum Majors Christy Prado and Jessica Ankley, field commanders Anna Shabowski and Kate Lovers, horn captain Braden Houle, color guard captains Megan Burns and Ellie Evanson. This year's halftime gives us a look at one of the groups that opened for American pop music. The opener sets up the experience music from various stages of this band's reign on the world's music landscape. Magical Mystery Tour was both a movie and an 11-track EP released in 1967. In the second tune, in the opening melody, the Northern Band shifts to 1968 and a piece that was intended to convey the feelings of a busy, hard-working woman on each day of the week. Lady Madonna features almost every section of the band on the melody. Field leadership, are you ready to start your show? The Fort Huron Northern Marching Band proudly presents Beatlemania. Cutting back to 1966, the Beatles tell a slightly more somber tale, trying to convey the feelings of people in post-war Britain. Our arrangement features interesting percussion riffs, great melody lines in the mellows and altos. Please enjoy Eleanor Rigby. We present the third of four songs, which features both the color guard and the senior guard captains Megan Burns and Allie Evanson, and the trumpet duet of seniors Tony Hilleman and Cassidy Livingston. We hope you appreciate this creative and emotional mashup of Blackbird and Yesterday. Finally, we finish our journey down the long and winding road by featuring our drum line and our closer, Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, builds to a powerful and emotional climax with a nod to flower power. We would now like to invite the 8th graders to join us on the field. Tonight we will have almost 200 8th graders from the 3 middle schools that will be playing along with us on a couple of our favorite tunes. We begin with the current pop hit, Timber. Feel free to dance and clap along as we perform another hit, Happy. We would like to thank the band directors from the 3 medical schools, Katie Fox, Shauna Manhart, and Mike Rose for their help in making information and materials available to the kids and encouraging them to participate in this great event. Would the 3 directors please stand And we'll give them a nice round of applause. Finally, Mr. Senkager and the band students would like to extend a warm thank you to the Northern Band parents for their tireless efforts in supporting our program. Would all the band families in the audience please stand so we can acknowledge you. Thank you for your help and support. Personally, Mr. Senkager, I'd like to thank you. Thanks a lot, Eric. Ladies and gentlemen, your over 200-member 2014 Northern Northern Marching Band under the direction of Senkager, marching instructors Zach Nye and Corey Strobe, Nicole Boone, and Matt Navazzi. Color guard instructors Emily Wilton. Color guard drum majors. Outfits were designed and sewn by Ann Kim.
Back, second half action, Memorial Stadium. Derek Work, Big D, CPHS, EBW.TV as well. First half dominated by the offense, and really, I expected a little bit less from Sterling Heights, but they've come in and they've really shown something offensively, or is that attributed to basically the Huskies and their lack of tackling, not filling holes enough? But both teams are doing the same. Neither team really defensively has looked all that sharp. Props to Aaron Martindale in that first half. I've called it for years. Very dynamic player, just a matter of getting him the ball. I don't care how you get him the ball. If he can find a way defensively, get him the ball. If you can find a way offensively, he's got to touch it. And obviously the big kick return a moment ago, or at least in the first half that we saw, 2 thumbs up for this. Look for him to be a factor, special teams also to be a factor. And if Sterling Heights in this game continues to give these squib kicks the good field position, Huskies better hope that they're ready for it, because if you're going to give a team that, then you've got to take that, and you've got to come up the field and score on it again. But anyway, a 7-point lead, Sterling Heights at the half. Derek Work, Big D, CPHS, and that is the Bloodhound. Why do I say things like that? Because you don't see the Bloodhound on the cam that often, so there you go. You didn't there, just me. But he was behind doing the duties that usually the Cub does. The Bears done it in the past. The Ox has been up here doing it a few times this year so far. Carl as well. But anyway, welcome back. Rambling on there. Derek Work, Big D, CPHS, and EBW. Also Vimeo.com, where these games are rebroadcasted on the CPHS Channel 6 site on Vimeo. Again, you go to Vimeo, search up CPHS Channel 6 Port Huron, and you will find all these games rebroadcasted the way they were originally broadcasted on CPHS. Well, quite the first half indeed. A back and forth game. Sterling Heights has Port Huron Northern right now by 1 touchdown, 28-21. If not for Aaron Martindale, I have no idea what this game would be at right now. And the defense as well, they've got to get better. And I would think that the team that comes out and tackles more, plays more aggressive, especially at the defensive line, is probably going to win this game. Let's get nasty, Port Huron. Martindale from the 8s, 15, finds a seam again, 20, 25, stops, and starts 30, and they're going to down him this time. They've got to kind of watch illegal hands to the face here, too. Some fans actually screaming about that. I think that's basically the Sterling Heights fans who have yelled some things in this game I dare not repeat. It's a family show. Watch yourself, Big D. Anyway, welcome again to Wounded Warrior Night. The Wounded Warrior Project is a nonprofit organization whose mission is to honor and empower the wounded warriors. Thousands of those wounded warriors and caregivers receive support each year through WWP programs and services designed to nurture the mind and body and encourage economic empowerment and engagement. Wounded Warrior Night. Still got a few names to name here. Bad snap. Martindale picks it up deep in the backfield, but he's got a long way to go. Can he get there? No. Down 19, maybe 20. Loss of a ton. 28, maybe to the 19 if he's lucky. Loss of 9. Tough one to start the half if you're the Huskies. And if you know that as an offense, the defense you're playing hasn't been all that spectacular, you got to think you can't give them this kind of thing. Although Martindale did everything he could to try and get back to the line of scrimmage, nothing happened there. Martindale, clearly they're trying to get him the football. Oh, flag on the play, just shy of where Martindale was eventually downed by number 9 there, Ciccone, playing on both sides of the ball for the Stallions. And it's smart, you know. Martindale, your go-to guy, your big scorer. I said it, you got to let him touch the football. Maybe Coach Connell and I are playing telepathy. Maybe he hears me somehow. Get Martindale the football as often as you can. Well, case in point right there. Anyway, Nick Miller tonight was playing for Richard Rutkowski. Jordan Killian for Lester Ray Killian. Noah Steinhauer in honor of Jacob Maxwell. As we see a penalty, yep, you got her, against the Huskies again. Jason Foster playing for Roland Foster. Brennan Neaton for Corporal Neaton. Xavier LaRue for Joe LaRue. Johnny Wormlinger for Wesley Collins. And Cody Rothow in memory of Alvin Rothow. A couple more names and that'll be it. The Wounded Warrior program. I've tried to get down the list all night long, and why not? Great cause. This is a hammer job. The blind side of Kyle Birch. And he wore it. Sack, Jack. That's a full blitz, and you don't pick him up. Simple as that. Number 40 there, Andrew Naidbala, a captain, also a senior linebacker. He just came on the blitz. Look, there's no one over there. If you're the tailback there, you've got to recognize where that's set up, where you believe the tackle's going to be. You've got to get over there quicker than that. That's all there is to it. End zone. They try to set up a screen, tackled right at the 1 after a missed block. Huskies are going to have to punt again. This is not pretty. But first and foremost, they're not in this position if they don't have that error on first down. First and second down is so you're not set up with third and long when it gets to that. When it gets to third and fourth down. You want to be set up with short, doable distances. And this field position right now, it's all they can do just to get this ball out. Taken on the run, 34. Shake and bake move, 26. Out of bounds, 26. 9, a good tackle there, Artez Hadley. Anyway, to wrap it up here, Rudy Nowakowski for Aloysius Nowakowski. Juho Vertanen for Lieutenant Vertanen, and Josh Conant. In memory of, it just says here, Sanderson. So there you go. The Wounded Warrior Project tonight. Again, I want to say thank you to the veterans. I am from Canada, if you don't know by the accent, but that doesn't mean I don't appreciate what the veterans do in the U.S., for both the U.S. and Canada. So there you go again. Fastbinder this time. Not sure if he got credit for a sack there or if it was no gain. Either way, Vastbinder 72. Good tackle, even if he doesn't get credit for the sack. I want to also give a shout out to the band. That's right, the Husky Marching Band. Kimberly and Amber Hannon doing a great job over there. Anyway, the band played Timber and Because I'm Happy and other good stuff, and it's a huge Husky band this year. One of the biggest Husky bands I've seen in the 18 years I've done this. So shout out to them, and a great job at the half. This is an end-around play going nowhere. 52. There he is again. Ethan booms. All right. Third down. And it'll be third and long. Ball mark 33. Zach Kane, by the way, as well on the tackle for the Huskies. Well, to go down the list of seniors, one of the captains, Carter Schwartz, 5'10", 160. And we'll be reading off more of those names in a moment. You know who number 3 is. We'll talk about him in just a minute. One of the last games here for the seniors at Memorial Stadium. Hard count here almost made them jump. Passing Ciccone. Great protection in a huge hole. Goes through it. Doesn't get near enough for the first down. Huskies very fortunate. And you could see there, they drop men back in coverage. Because all you have to do there is guard the sticks. actually ended up getting close to the original line of scrimmage. It's actually going to be 4th and 9 now. That was not only good pass protection, but look at the holes here. Wow, you could drive your car through either one of those holes. Of course, doesn't matter. If he doesn't get required yardage, it really doesn't mean anything. Pretty good D from the Huskies. Not really in a pass rushing sense, but on this drive, they've done well considering the offense sputtered and really put them in bad field position situations here. Timeout on the field. And Sterling Heights has called it. So some more of these seniors. Number 3, Aaron Martindale. Really a ton of talent, and you kind of get the feeling with him that he hasn't shown everything. And number 3 may not get to show everything before he finally graduates, but real good player, real athletic guy, and he went so well with guys like Sufis and Austin Thompson a season ago. They were the Fab 3. Tremendous stuff, so Martindale will certainly be missed, and he indicated in this game why. Kyle Birch, number 4, the quarterback. Again, a kid I don't think has ever really realized his full potential. Certainly he's got a lot of talent, and he will be missed. Garrett Corey, some other names, Robert Lane. Clinton Massey, number 8. Some time at tailback this year. Is that Shelly Sinek over there standing by a tree? Maybe. Maybe that gentleman there giving her some of her smoothest pickup lines. I don't know. Quite possibly. That's not for me to figure out. Ed in the truck might want to know that. Anyway, 4th down and 9. It's a reverse. It's going to be a reverse pass. They're going to gun it to the end zone and in and out of the hands. And good thing, I think it was Ryan Hunt over there that he jumped up and timed her well, because if he was not in the direct vicinity, adios. I love the play call. And the reason for it, you don't expect it on 4th and 9. Here's the replay again. It's a straight out reverse. Once, twice, and there you see he stops. That's number 14 there, Cameron Wilson. Guns it just a bit short. It's short because it floated. And 16 Hunt there made a good play and saved a touchdown. Could be big later. Rock job around left side. Boom, bang, bong. Goodness gracious. 33. Delvin Robinson. Goodness. They tried your basic end around there. I believe it was 12, Colby Nabosny. He gets right back up, though, because he's a TG tough guy. Birch through. Lots of yards. Kyle Birch. Midfield now 40-35. That's a block in the back by Martindale. That's just flat out a mistake. It's a spot of the foul call. It'll be 15 from where he pushed him in the back. Well, it's tough. I mean, for all the good Martindale has obviously done in this game, you don't fault him for giving that little bit of extra oomph, but it's still a big play for the Huskies. It's still going to be a first down, and I believe spot of the foul here. But he doesn't really need to do this because Kyle Birch has cleared the Stallions. They had one man to beat, definitely. You got to call that. You do. And it especially stands out that much more because it's 2 guys. It's Birch and him, and then a catch-up block. It doesn't hurt you, though, that much. Birch was not going to score on the play. Well, he did actually score on the play. Once the block in the back, of course, he wasn't going to, but pretty decent field position as it turned out for the Huskies. So something that could have been a lot worse for them ends up on the 38, 1st and 10 from there. Nabosny in motion this time. Fake again. This time Birch going to test the left side. Behind left tackle. Good yardage again. Kyle Birch has certainly come out to play and be on the prowl in this drive. Got about 8, maybe 9. Brings up 2nd down and 1. A huge drive here for the Huskies to try and battle back in this game. Anyway, again, Clinton Massey as we continue to read off the seniors. Another tailback, didn't get a ton of playing time. But the senior tailback on this football team, when Travis Hughes wasn't seeing time, as we have another offside penalty. I think that's going to be on the Huskies. And it will, to set them back again. Artez Hadley. Hadley, to me, had a great year last year. I thought very underrated last year. And certainly played his position well this year. Well, him and Massey both did, to be honest. Austin Roach, defensive lineman, doesn't get enough credit for what he does, certainly. Ryan Hunt, number 16. 2 weeks ago, the play of the game brought everybody out of their seats when they beat East Detroit in the final minute. It was hunting season, Ryan Hunt. Another offside, but I think this one might be against Sterling Heights. Nope, false start. Huskies again.
Motion against the Huskies.
And they were going so well here. That's what really shoots you in the foot. Number 22, Tanton Elliott. A player that wasn't used near enough, I believe. A lot of talent again. There's a few Huskies you can say that about. Jacob Melberg as well, a linebacker, number 23. Seniors were saying goodbye to tonight on what they call here senior night, as it's listed in the program. Passing this one, Birch. Well, they're going to call a flag. Husky fans cheering, and I think it's because he impeded progress. The pass really was underthrown. I think Birch would like that one back, but I think they're going to call pass interference here. And if anything, the Husky player he tried to throw to, you could argue a head tackle. Well, they're pointing back towards the Huskies here. But we'll see. Huskies came out of their huddle there pretty early. The officials hadn't even figured out the penalty yet. What it is going to be an automatic first down, and ball's going to be marked at the 23. Okay, 1st and 10 from there for the Huskies. 6 and 17 to go in the third again. Sterling Heights 28, Huskies 21, trailing by a touchdown. First down, Birch. Off play action, goes forward, gets one, and brought down by the Stallions. 5 Devin Cleghorn on the tackle. Very active player in this game. And we go from an active player to an active cameraman. The Bloodhound. And he is not part of the Bloodhound gang. Oh, look at there. Checking in with his hand waving is Paul Campow. He was hiding there a minute ago. Birch, outside, man-to-man, and reaches through, caught. Aaron Martindale. Again.
Aaron Martindale, touchdown.
Well. That's what I said a minute ago with the block in the back. He's the kind of player that can still come out and get the job done and still beat you. For all the good he does, you can accept block in the backs like that. You can. He is having some kind of game. If Aaron Martindale wants to play on Saturdays next year, and I don't know for sure if he does or doesn't, but if he does, send this tape out. Because on this tape, what hasn't he done? Sarah Vanderhoevel, it looked unsure, but it went through. 28-28, Huskies have finally tied the game. 5:43 to go in the third. But as I was saying, what hasn't Aaron Martindale done in this football game? He's done everything. Kickoff return for a touchdown. Touchdown here. Another touchdown earlier. The driving force right now behind the Port Huron Northern Huskies, as you see, Vassbinder and Coach Connell at midfield. And Sterling Heights coaching staff over there as well. I think that's Brent Widows, their head coach. So, very exciting game from 3. It's the Martindale Show from Memorial, folks. Big D Derek Wark, CPHS, Channel 6, where we are now being shown on Vimeo.com and as well EBW.TV. Some rebroadcast for you online, as well as the rebroadcast from CPHS Channel 6 on your TV screens. Of course, if you got an HDMI cable, they can still be on your TV screens hooked up through the computer, because Big D, technically savvy like that. Vassbinder to kick off in a minute. All of a sudden, Huskies, decent offensively, and that's a good sign. It really is. Because the way that they started in this half, that's why I say all of a sudden, it was not looking pretty. Backed up as far as they could go in the end zone. Vastbinder the punt, and that's the second time tonight that he's been in that position. But somehow they've battled out, and somehow they've tied it at 28-28, and let's get nasty, Port Huron. Squib 32, up 35, 40, falls forward 44. Good field position for Sterling Heights. Sterling Heights have tried to catch Northern in squib kicks, onside kicks tonight. Also, Northern has certainly done their share of short kicks as well. So there you see Shelley Sinek, mother of that gentleman behind him. Behind her, Adam Sinek. Part of the band tonight. One of the Cougars having fun. I said to Shelley, is he nervous? No, he loves this. Okay, great. Through this time, hit hard. Good tackle midfield to the 50. Kind of hurt a little bit as he made the play. That's, I believe, 22, Tanton Elliott. And he's down at midfield. Now he gets up. Dangerous in that position. Helmet to the legs that you don't kind of twist your neck or just a kind of jerk in the neck. That could have been what happened. But he gets up fine because he's a TG tough guy. That's why. Rest of the seniors here, Sarah Vanderhoovel, the kicker. Kind of neat to see a female kicker on this football team. You don't see it every day.
Cleghorn's the ball carrier.
Cleghorn, middle, not much, got one. Brings up third down. Brandon Leal, Zach Kane, the linebacker. A very good year, and I like how aggressive Kane plays. I've been calling him Cone, Kane, Cone, aggressive player nonetheless, and I like how he's played the game this year. Cullen Nesbitt from the defensive line, they'll really miss him up front too. Good year, all year, Cullen. They fake the end around this time, straight up the field, north and south, Jaconi. First down, 43-yard line. Ref says move the sticks. That's good for the Stallions. Ethan Booms. He's been great tonight, I'll tell you that. Another strong linebacker. This team really very deep in talent as far as linebackers and secondary, which makes you think, why can't they put this together? For me, it's just been a tackling issue. And it's corrected if they're more aggressive and basically they want it badly enough. That's what it comes down to. This one almost offside. They send the man in motion. This time it is an end around. Cleghorn leading blocker, and the leading blocker buries the Huskies, opening up the door for 14. Cameron Wilson on the end around. All kinds of yards inside the 20. First down to the 18. For Sterling Heights. Here we go again. And I say that because this is how this game began. When it was 0-0. Sterling Heights up and down the field. They did it 3 times. Northern answered a couple of times. Well, in the middle of that, of course, the kickoff return touchdown from Martindale. But now they're going back and forth again. Very little defense, very little tackling, but a great block there a minute ago. Play fake, middle, no, overthrows. And he was open, too. Intended for 18, Justin Voss. Simply put, if he hits him, it's probably 6. And the rest of the seniors. Spencer Vastbinder, 72. Really, I would say that he's been the face of this football team the last 4 years. One of the leaders, linebacker, good size. I think more suited to be a defensive lineman personally. He's got the build of a lineman, I think. But, you know, a leader, sometimes you want him in the middle. Outside, good blocking. 5, lowers, 1. Is he in? They say yes, he is in. Touchdown. And when they're missing tackling, they're either doing that or they're just not getting outside fast enough. There's too many men over there trying to pick up block, and they don't have to pick up block. That tells you there's just no Husky over there. They're not getting over there fast enough. And I'm telling you right now, they've got to correct that for next week, because the Big Reds' team speed and power up front is going to shake these running backs free. The Huskies have got to be mindful of that. They have got to, simply put, play better. Linebacker play east to west. or the Big Reds next week are going to bury him. Because that's the Big Reds team strength. Line play, rushing all over the football field with dynamic athletes. And simply put, you've got to be faster, east-west than this. Here's a look at it again. There you see, leading blockers, and there's just too much. He's not even being touched until he's got 10, 15. They actually did block a few Huskies there. I'm getting a little bit carried away, but that's really too easy. And their basic plays, again, their sweeps, their counters, their off-tackle runs, stuff like that. But hey, you do with what works. And I called it earlier, first one to 50. Huskies lagging a bit, 35-28, we'll see. Huh. Anyway, it'd be tough to say goodbye, these fans, to Spencer Vastbinder, but they're going to have to here. Second last game for the Huskies at Memorial. It's got to be tough for seniors to leave for the final time. It's such a beautiful place to play football. Jordan Killian, offensive lineman up front. Longtime player here and a good one. Jason Foster, 78, number 79, Brennan Neaton, and the final senior, Juhu Vertanen. What can I say, gentlemen? It's been an honor and a privilege, and I wish you the best in your futures, wherever they may take you. Let's get nasty Port Huron, and they don't have to here. It's a gift. Kickoff out of bounds off the penalty. I believe at this level they mark it at the 35. I'd like to see that rule changed as well. I think if you go out of bounds on the kickoff, especially at this level, the 40 at least. Of course, you can make him kick it again if you desire, and I think that's what Coach Connell's going to do. So he doesn't accept that penalty. Anyway, it is seniors night. It is Wounded Warrior night. They kind of combined the two, so I read off both. A long list for both. Certainly deserved on all counts. Absolutely. You know, great cause. Great players wearing the jerseys, and they buy the jerseys, then they donate them when the game's over. I don't think they keep them for next week against the Big Reds. They'll have their regular jerseys, unless, of course, the rivalry game next week produces special jerseys. I also want to say this again. Paul Campo said, well, that's weird, Big D, before the game. That the fact that it's played on week 9. I love the fact that the rivalry game is played on week 9. Quote the Big D. That's exactly what I want. This is one of the better schedules, actually. I think on all sides. For both teams. This year. So it's friendly to the Big D. And that's never a bad thing. On the kickoff here, they're offside. So 2 penalties are backing them right back up. This is going to be pretty good field position for the Huskies if they can hang on to what might end up being a squib kick, although I would think they've got to kick this one off here. They're switching up players this time. The 2 near and the 2 far kind of swapped for the Huskies at the line here. Well, they're not going to try a squib now. They've got to kick this one away. But they go from kicking away and deep and going out of bounds to being offside on the kickoff. So they're all the way back to their own 30 now. Kicking this one. Let's get nasty Port Huron. They actually get a decent kickoff away this time. Taken. 15-yard line, 20, now 25. Martindale to the outside. Here he goes again. 35-40. Past midfield. 45 and 40 of Sterling Heights pushed out. Shy of the 35. Aaron Martindale. You could see him as he went to the left. You're thinking, I don't know, man. He's got the blocking. He took off again. You have got to be mindful on your kickoff defense of the seams, the available seams for the returner. You have to realize, likely the returner, he's going to get past the first tackler. So smother tackle with the other guys. There you see they're just not fast enough. It's that simple. Martindale to the outside. So the guys behind have to run. They have to get there late. And Martindale by then already has the yardage. 11 the carry, Travis Hughes. Short one there. Brings up second down. besides Kyle Birch rushing the football, and there I am, and that's a big D right there. Yeah, the person, not for credit for the Tigers. We all know how well they did. And that's Paul Campo doing the camera work over there. And he looks like a proud, proud man to be sporting that camera on his shoulder right now. See, here we go. I was just talking about it. Play fake. Birch. Avoidance of tackle again. And some of the Sterling Heights fans are going, come on. And I feel their pain because this is a symptom that has killed the Huskies this season. Just wrap up tackling. Finishing your wrapping up. They're not doing that either. Either are the Huskies, and they're paying for it. There's Paul Campo. And how do you feel, Paul, about not being in Never Ever Land tonight to the left? You're in, decent area, decent territory tonight. They weren't cruel to you tonight. I think that might just be because there's no field cams tonight. So they spared him. Some nights they have him in scissor lifts. Well, next week, they're probably going to need him in some kind of skyjack if they want him on the field for the big rivalry game, because it will be packed. And my advice to you folks is come early. Birch through. Hits the ref. Might have helped him. 5. End zone. Touchdown. Kyle Birch. He hit the referee there as he went through the middle. And if anything, the referee was a blocker. And you know what? It's funny. They've actually, in the NFL, they've taken that middle official out of the middle of the field, I believe, for years. And the New England Patriots were notorious for doing this. They would actually run past patterns and use the referee as a blocker. You think I'm joking, but I'm not. That's what they did. And it's perfectly legal. Extra point blocked here. Sarah Vanderhoovel. But they got in pretty quick here, so not her fault. That's a huge play when you consider now 1 point lead in the ball back. Any lead in this football game. Absolutely. And if anything, talent-wise, I would say these two teams are even. Here you see again, yeah, he hits the official, and it is a block because it's on that side. You hate to see the man in the stripes go down, but as I say for the players, man in stripes, he's a TG tough guy. Well, the Channel 6 staff tonight, you thought I forgot, didn't you, Truck? No, Big D does not ever forget the CPHS Channel 6 staff. We saw him a moment ago. Mr. Campo, Paul Campo down there. He's got the Big D cam tonight. Suds is Emily Desmet, Cecilia Galio, and Michelle Radford. Slow-mo cam, up on the booth, Chris Arell, the Bloodhound, slow-mo director and his boss, we'll say, indirectly. Big fella in the truck, EJ Shea. The grip, Shelly Sinek. Aaron Bitzinger, Bits, because bit by bit, she does great graphics. Assistant director. Down here on the list as Ka. So obviously this was not finished, and I didn't notice that it was not finished. So assistant director tonight is Ka. Obviously Carl. Crazy Carl Stafford, and of course the main director is Ed Sinek. He goes by the Green Hornet, and yes, for all he does, he might just be a superhero. Yeah. Well, they got more out of this squib kick than they could certainly have asked for. They've been squib kicking all night long, and it actually went to, the 25 on the bounce, and they downed it there. Ed was saying at halftime, it's a long game, Big D. Well, you look up at the scoreboard, it's 35-34. When a game is filled with touchdowns galore, well, it's going to be a long one. Still, though, you could argue that it's exciting because of this. If I'm seeing NFL level football, I want to go and see, 40-39. I love that in football. Any sport. I go to a baseball game. I love 9-8. Close, lots of offense. That's what the Big D likes. Shotgun, passing, flat, caught. Trying to avoid Martindale. Pushed forward. They thought they had the tackle. You don't have the tackle. That one play right there sums up the entire Husky season. Sterling Heights, touchdown, Daquan Oliver
Stallion.
from way out. You can't miss the tackle. That's all there is to it. We know that. But you can never, ever, ever think a player's down until you hear that whistle. Well, there'll be better days. Defensively. Offensively, until Sterling Heights prove they can stop Aaron Martindale,
There's point try.
well, keep it up. Keep going to him. And I don't think they can. Trying to go up here by 8. Still one possession, though. They put it up, and it's good. All game long, the Big D up here in the booth has been saying to all of you, first one to 50. Well, Sterling Heights, they're down 8 in their quest to become the first to 50. Well, down 8 from 50. Huskies down 16 from 50. There you see, barely stays in bounds. Either the Husky tackling there either thought for sure they had him down, or they thought they had him pushed out of bounds. I think that was it. There's Coach Larry Rowlands. If nothing else, just trying to keep them alive and active. And you can basically tell them, the offense has moved the ball tonight, guys. Have faith in the offense. Keep going. Enthusiastic. And keep playing hard. And it may take just one stop for their defense in this game to come back and win it. But again, when you talk about next week's game, the Big Reds burn any team that does not make tackles. Clearly, that is not a strength of this Husky team. So, if they're listening, they've got to work on tackling in practice this week. Because that is the Big Reds' strong suit, again, is power rush and outside rush. They'll do it all night long if they can. Well, this was dangerous, if nothing else, because it continued on the roll past 10 yards. It did go out of bounds. And that, of course, is a flag. The other thing about this game, special teams have been absolutely an insanity. The kicking game on just regular everyday kickoffs, it's looked crazy. Every kickoff, it seems, is either a squib or an onside kick, a mess up, a ball goes out of bounds on them, penalties, they don't accept the penalty, they kick again. Very, very messy area of this football game. And usually special teams, when you have this many messy errors, neither team is in the game. The trouble is they've both done it. Anyway, here we go. Number 7, Saba. Ball drops first. Well, they're going to call a penalty, and this is going to make the head coach, Brent Widows, very upset of Sterling Heights. Technically, you can't really throw the offside here if the ball fell off the tee. And he's got to be careful because he's really arguing down there. This is how you get a personal foul. Well, they're waving off the flag. All right. And really, that's the correct call. Coach Connell now is going to argue. You know, if you're an official here, you can't make the correct call because either coach is going to argue. And then, of course, he changed his mind, so Coach Connell, he can argue the fact that just because he changed his mind. Well, Coach Widows doesn't care now. I mean, once he makes the call, everything's, hunky-dory. And it is the correct call. It's not the fault of them that the ball fell down. But anyway, they have to hold it now. They're being made to hold it. So, kickoff now from the 35. Let's get nasty Port Huron. On the bounce, dangerous roll, passes Hunt. Picked up by Martindale, really the hero of the game. They've got to make sure they down him, and they do this time. And a sarcastic cheer from the Sterling Heights crowd. And did Sterling Heights get up with this football? No signal yet. No, they're saying Husky ball. And you know what? I'm not sure. I'm not. You have to go by who gets up with it last, do you not? If you cannot see it, well, interesting to know if the referee saw it there at any point in the pylon. But they're saying clearly, and all three of them said it. 4 of them, 5 of them, however many there are, they all indicated, and right away, Husky ball. Anyway, here you go. Goes right by Ryan Hunt, who actually I think was setting up to block it anyway. I don't think he really misplayed it. Anyway, Martindale, we'll see if the ball does come out. They were trying to strip him the whole way. It looks like it did come out there. Huh. I think I saw the ball come out, but anyway, it doesn't matter here. Officials said our ball, that's all that matters. Birch, kind of a flip screen to Hughes. Can't come up with it. It'll be second down.
Birch's passing for number 11, Travis Hughes, incomplete.
Well, it's not your night if you're having trouble completing little flip pass, screen passes. Like I said, there will be better days. Anyway, again, bigdsports.info, my personal blog, where I blog about all the games I announce, including this one. I'll have lots to say about touchdowns because that's really all there's been in this game. Birch slips this time and falls. Sacked Jack. Third in an eternity now. Anyway, at bigdsports.info, my own personal blog, started years ago. And the reason I started it, why not write about the games that I'm sitting here announcing? There you see it again in super duper. Big fella in the truck, E.J. Shea, slow motion. Well, I'm not sure if any of that's the ball, really. Did it come out, though? Check the knee level. Well, we can't really tell from that angle, but this looked like movement before the snap. That's exactly what they're calling, and I believe it's on the Huskies again. How many times in this game have we seen this, where they get inside the red zone, even technically inside the 5? I've said this for years too, and not to pick on the Huskies or any team. If you have a penalty at half the distance inside the red zone, or let's say inside the 10, and you go half the distance, that to me should be changed and should be made to be a safety. I have always thought that. Because otherwise, half the distance from, say, the 5 is what, the 2.5? How does that really hurt you? How does that hurt you when you're redoing the down in the first place? That should be a safety. Just a rule I would like to see changed. I'm not going to get my wish, but I'm allowed to have wishes. Props of being the announcer. On the run, look out again. Aaron Martindale. Hobbada, boom. Touchdown, Huskies. What an amazing game for number 3. This is an amazing job by him. Just pure speed to catch up to this football on the run as he's going. Because he had to. Birch, technically, if you come up with the ball at all on the run like that, then you put her in a perfect spot. You did. But he had some work to do to go get it. And because he's running at a full speed, just lowered his head and went after that football, you're going to beat the defensive back naturally. Because you see where the pass is ahead of him, you're going to get that extra step. And a Martindale extra step is a little bit different than a lot of guys' extra step. I really don't understand why they didn't go for 2 there. But they didn't. They went for the extra point, 42-41. What do you have to lose by going for it? Here we go again. Watch this pass by Birch, but watch Martindale catch up to it. Wham. Perfectly done. The only way you defend that, if Martindale beats the corner, you have got to have safety help. You got to. You need a safety in a zone, and there was no safety there. They risked man-to-man. You know what? At this stage in this game, if you're Sterling Heights, why don't you have a safety help against Martindale? I don't understand that line of logic, that line of thought in this game. That doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, it's not like he's been hidden all game and all of a sudden he just shows up. This is the biggest, best player in this football game, and you're man-to-man coverage and he gets by you at the line, and then there's nobody back to help. I don't get that line of thought. I really don't understand it, but I'll take it, folks. And love it or hate it, we're seeing one heck of a football game. We really are. I know it's long, Ed, but how can you not like this? What hasn't this game had? In a good way and a bad. It's had everything. One of those instant classics that you see on ESPN. Never at this level will ESPN have anything, but you know what? Who cares? Let's get nasty, Port Huron. Bassbinder, he's been doing this all day. Clearly goes far enough. They've got to make sure the ball first off. And they get through. Drag down just. Clinton Massey, the tackle. I hate to say it, if Massey doesn't make it, I tell you, it's so scary in this football game because of the lack of tackling by both football teams. But it makes for a dandy game. It really does. Well, Massey just stayed with him the whole way and didn't give up. And that is something they weren't doing in the early going. Yeah, I think he maybe gets by Vassbinder there. And who knows at that stage. Huskies waiting this time. That's the play call beating him there. A late push. Got to be careful there as 51, Cullen Nesbitt. We're going to get to the Husky schedule at the beginning of the fourth, but that, folks, is the third. In a wild, crazy, fast-paced, no tackling, no defensive game from Memorial Stadium. But hey, I'll take that because it's what the Big D likes. Exciting. 42-41, Sterling Heights after 3. Come on back. It's sure to be a doozy of a fourth. First one to 50 wins, folks. I called it. I'm not crazy or weird. I just have a different reality, and football is my escape into that very reality. Welcome back. Big D, Derek Warwick, CPHS, Channel 6. A real close-up of, I think, Sud's hair to see if she washed her hair today or not. It looks like she indeed did, so good work. And to do so, she used Suds. Yeah. Anyway, carry on second down. It's going to be third instead and about 4 yards to go here. 42-41, and again, Sterling Heights on top of our Huskies. I have no idea why a moment ago on the touchdown, they didn't go for two. In a game where offenses rule like this one, what would make you not go for two? Anyway, 42-41, play fake, outside, but met right there beautifully. 54, Mike Mahaffey. Thank you very much. Woo!
Mike Mahaffey on the stop.
That's just one of those. He breaks through at the line, gets penetration right smack dab where the back's trying to get to. Yep. It's a great job. 54 beating 54. Austin Hauer. And he's a senior captain on the team. So that's not an easy play. But 54, Mike Mahaffey made the play. Anyway, as promised, we're going to recap the Husky 2014 schedule here. How they did all season long. All 7 and now 8 weeks in just a moment here. It's a punt on fourth down. Thought about a fake maybe. Instead, they get it away. And there's no room for the fair catch here. It's got to be a flag. Definitely a flag. They're jumping on the ball. Doesn't matter. They decked him before he even had an opportunity to even make the play. That same play happened to the Big Reds last week. The exact same thing happened. But they didn't hit the Big Red first. He just dropped the ball. Not to pick on him or anything, but it happened to the Big Reds. Actually, down there, Brent Widows, the head coach of Sterling Heights, is screaming at one of his players. It's a 15-yard major anyway, and the reason that he's screaming at him, there you saw there, is because it's an everyday play. It's a common sense play. That's why it frustrates coaches. But that really is an indication. Oh, yeah, you got to call that. That's an indication of how this game's gone, though. Anyway, 10:46 left in the fourth. Again, CPHS, Derek Work, Big D, also EBW.TV and Vimeo.com, where CPHS is proud to have their home now. A secondary home base, if you will. Well, this is just a loss of yardage. There's no other way you can put it. That'll bring up second down, and they say 15. Well, pretty well guaranteed to have no tie, which probably means no overtime. Well, it's possible, I would guess, but not likely. All because the Huskies a moment ago didn't go for two. They maybe could have tied this game up, but then again, Coach Connell thinking, offensively we're doing well, we'll see. This one actually thrown off. Defensive back number 9, Jacob Ciccone, also the quarterback on offense. It hit the back of his leg by the looks of things. And I think Northern, they wanted a penalty there for possible pass interference, but they couldn't get the call. And it's now third down and long. August the 28th, Huskies were at St. Clair Shores, Lakeshore. They lost 31-26. More of that schedule in just a moment here. Tanton Elliott came back to get that pass, but well short of the first down. He did get about 10, but they had to get a lot more than that. Well, he didn't get 10. Needed 13, the actual play, but we have a penalty flag on the field. Thrown in the offensive backfield, and their early indication is holding. And I think they're going to accept it for better field position. So again, what they giveth, you taketh away. Under 10 now to go in the fourth. Anyway, that's St. Clair Shores Lakeshore game. I think to a man the Huskies will say that's one we should have had. Again, they lost it 31-26. I think if that's probably played here at Memorial or even later on in the year, they get the victory there. It was close. Lakeshore won it late, that kind of thing. Week 2, September the 5th, they lost at Marysville 43-9. The big three basically hammered them. Marysville, St. Clair, and Marine City this season. But it's something to, remember. The Mac Gold transitional process, it doesn't come overnight. September the 12th, Warren Woods Tower blew him out too. Great quarterback Darius Jordan in that one. Great power game as well. This is the Huskies causing Sterling Heights to jump again. And the crowd down here. Yelling, screaming, being violent. If I see the windows start to rattle, these guys throwing stuff at me. Yeah, they weren't too happy with me earlier, too. I was being too loud. So they shut the door and the window. The door was partially open there, I guess, too, at one point in the first half. So the Bloodhound shut everything. Good stuff. Took the cable out of here. Third down and long, 24. Birch slips, falls, sacked, way back at the 15. And we might have unnecessary roughness. Wait a minute here. They either mouthed off or hit Birch too late. And if that is a personal foul, that's 15 yards from the spot of, but it's an automatic first down, I believe. Of course, at all levels, it's different. It's going to be a late hit, and they're asking the Huskies here, explaining it to them. It is, unsportsmanlike conduct, a late hit on Sterling Heights. That's really just shooting yourself in the foot. There's been enough of that tonight, and these personal fouls, I mean, Brent Widows, he's been kind of yelling a little bit down there. How he's keeping his composure, I have no idea. At times he hasn't. Well, they're still saying 4th down, despite the fact that that improved the Husky field positions. Crowd screaming here, watch the fake, but from the 30. Not so sure about that. Anyway, the Huskies are going to punt. Thought it was a personal foul, a late hit there, but we'll see. I don't know. That was the call, I believe. Anyway, this is a good punt, actually. Inside 25, down 24. So a good job there. Vassbinder and company on punts and special teams. So there is plenty of time in this football game, but really a big play in this game was the missed extra point. And then I don't understand why they didn't go for 2. It's what's losing the game for them right now. 42-41, Sterling Heights, in an absolute crazy, crazy game. Well, if it wasn't a crazy one, I wouldn't say that it's the 2014 Northern Huskies. The East Detroit game a few weeks back, it'll be forever remembered. The circus play by Ryan Hunt, basically. Apparently, his parents came to Channel 6 to get copy of that game. They're proud of their son, and rightfully so. Proud of the Huskies on this one, too. It's a sack, Jack. Vassbinder among Huskies over there. Anyway, continuing on with their schedule, September the 19th at Lincoln, they won. A blowout win for the Huskies, and certainly one they needed. Of course, Lincoln of the MAC Bronze. Then they played East Detroit of the MAC Silver, the 26th. There you see a replay of the sack there. Great job, Huskies. They beat East Detroit, that game I'm talking about here, 35-32 in the dying seconds. Had heavy hearts that day. It's a face mask. They do catch it. More penalties. Unbelievable. 74 Miller made the stop. Might have grabbed too much face mask in the process, so another penalty on the Huskies. Apparently in that football game, of course, the Huskies had heavy hearts. Mr. McGuffin apparently passed away. Father of the linebacker, Patrick McGuffin, and a good one, and he was hurt. So they played with heavy hearts and dedicated the game to him. So what happens? 54 yards out, Ryan Hunt, the reception. Apparently Mr. McGuffin, E.J. Shea reminded me about this in the truck earlier. Mr. McGuffin was 54 years old. How is that for unbelievable? That almost tells you it was meant to be. 1st and 10, late screen develops, and they're lucky they even got this pass off. 51, Cullen Nesbitt. They rushed it, but they had to rush it, because based on the defense the Huskies had there, that screen would have developed too late. And how they got it through 51, Nesbitt there, I have no idea. That screen didn't have enough space between where the quarterback throws from and the line of scrimmage. If Nesbitt sticks an arm up there, he probably bats it down. 2nd down here. Immediate give. Small hole, gets through though. Oh, that tackle's got to be made. Got to be made and it's missed. 1st down. If you're going to make the tackle there and you're the Husky, and you see the Stallion player there is stopped for a minimal gain or even a loss, then you have to do everything you physically can, effort-wise, to get past the blocker. And you can't tell me they couldn't have got past the blocker there after a gain of 1. Any defense in this football game at all would have won this game on either side, because I don't know how it's going to turn out yet. Any tackling, though. This is a play fake this time. One sets up the other. Fake this time on the end around by 14, or 2-14, Cameron Wilson. Backed them up. After the East Detroit victory, a blowout at St. Clair. Both these games were at East China Stadium, by the way. Then October the 10th, last week, blown out at East China Stadium by Marine City. Once by St. Clair, once by Marine City, and tonight, of course, Sterling Heights next week hosting Port Huron. So Huskies will be the home team next week, despite the fact they're both home teams technically. Pretty good effort on the attempt here by 18, Justin Voss. Went for the one-arm grab, couldn't make it. So third down, and on this 3rd and 8, I would think this is probably the most important play defensively for the Huskies all game long. Because you've got to get the ball back. By the way, if you're wondering, 3 team timeouts for the Huskies and 2 for Sterling Heights, which says the Big Reds up on the scoreboard. Of course, default the visiting team. Next week it will be both Huskies and Big Reds on that scoreboard as Port Huron's biggest rivalry renews itself in its biggest sport. Another end around look. Gets through, not quite. And that's going to bring up 4th down. They got a few yards, 3 it looks like. Huskies not fooled on that one. I don't think they're checking in a punting package here. I could be wrong, but the offense is coming out. Well, just offensive players, I guess. Maybe they are going to punt this one. Lots of subs. If they're not, there was a ridiculous amount of subs coming off for Sterling Heights. Yeah, they are back to punt. Okay. Standing just shy of his 42. Number 11, Darryl Sanders. I can't believe they got away from Sanders in this game. He came out like a madman on the rush, and instead they went to others. That's actually 7, Saba on the punt. On the bounce, stops, starts, Ryan Hunt to the 20, down 21.
Ryan Hunt on the return.
Tackle made there by number 95, Austin Askew of the Stallions. So the Huskies have some work to do. Fortunately for them, 4:51 to go in the 4th. Down 1, 42-41, but all 3 timeouts. Hey, the way the offenses have moved the ball in this football game, there's a chance. Will Ryan Hunt provide more magic? I asked that at the beginning of the broadcast. If he gets a block, Birch set free again, 40-46, first down. A gain of 24 on first down. That has by far been the Huskies' most consistent way of moving the football tonight. Just get it to Birch, watch him run with it.
Husky first down.
Shotgun again, it's a run and shoot look again. Play fake again, Birch again. Through the hole, slips and falls right at midfield. If he doesn't fall, you're looking at 4 more yards at least.
First ball carrier stopped by Robinson.
Again, holes too big and lack of basic tackling on basic plays. If you're wondering, Aaron Martindale by far, player of the game on either side. Certainly my offensive player of the game. He was a factor defensively, and he was a factor on special teams with the touchdown. There's nothing he hasn't done in the game. Travis Hughes finds a hole, gets the first down, or close to it. They say yes, move the sticks. Hughes. I'd like to see this team do more of that, and they're going to have to next week if they want any hope. Hughes has to run the football next week, somehow, some way, against the Big Reds, and it's going to be tough. Play fake. Birch goes hard through the center. Birch bounces off tackle. Birch is still going. Seldom have I seen such horrible tackling, but I have tonight. And who's going to argue with what we just saw? Birch, touchdown, Huskies. What's Big D been saying all game, folks? First 1 to 50 wins. Well, Huskies slacking off a bit. They've only about to get 48 here. A bit of a slack off job here. 42 for Sterling Heights. Now, when you score 42, how often can you honestly say, we might not win this game? Well, you could see that. It's offside Sterling Heights on the extra point. Likely to be assessed here on the kickoff. And now are they going to go for two? They are. They're checking in for the conversion here because it's half the distance, I believe, to accept it on this conversion. Well, they're going for it. Why not? This would put them up 7 if they hit. I don't know why they didn't go for 2 when it was 42-40. I said that earlier, but if they convert this, it's not going to matter they didn't. To get to 49, still not 50. Birch, keeper, lowers his head. It looked like he hit his own man and just had his head swiped to the side. If he just gets forward without hitting the back of his own player there, I think he does get in, because at first he had the momentum. Just couldn't get through, couldn't convert. 47-42. Here's the run again. Just, what do you say other than they're just not tackling? You have got to tackle to win in this game. It's that simple. Especially the basic ones. That's why it's referred to as basic tackling. Because it doesn't take much to do it. It takes a little bit of extra effort, mind you. But if you're a football player, you have to think to yourself, that little extra effort to make tackles is why I play this game in the first place, isn't it? Well, I'm shocked. I'll tell you, I am. See, there's just too many misses here. Right there, you've got to dive at the feet more. You've got to wrap him up. At least wrap your hands around his waist and don't let him move. Because they had an opportunity to do that, and they didn't do it. But everything in this game needs to happen at a quick pace. You tackle quick, you run quick, you burst through. You never sit back, you never watch. You go and you make the tackle. You make the play. If you don't, you're going to be left behind. That's all there is to it. You have to be quicker than your opponent in everything you do. And in this game, the defenses are not quicker. They're not. And that's why I look to my right and I see a score that is 47-42. There you see it right there. Channel 6 has it up. And they have it up probably because Ed can't believe it. I mean, he was saying at halftime, Big D, this is just too long. Well, if it was too long then, he must love it now. Anyway, it's a 5-point game, 47-42. Here's that play again with blockers ahead. It might be called back here. Flag thrown right where they're blocking. It's another sweep, pitch back, counters to one particular side, and they overload the backs and the wideouts to that side. Maybe tight ends. It was running backs that time. Doesn't matter anyway. Flag is going on Sterling Heights, pushing them back.
Holding call against the Stallions.
But they're overloading the side. And if you watch the plays, most of the blocking is running without being touched. And believe me when I say this, I'm not just picking on one team in particular. Both teams. And if I'm being mean tonight, BigDSports.info, you go ahead, you call me out on it. This is a pass on the flat. And it looked as if Ciccone kind of rushed that one in the slot, more or less. To 11, Darryl Sanders. But that's another thing that I really think in practice this week they've got to work on. Being quicker to make the tackle. It's not just about making them, wrapping them up, stopping the players, but a speed issue. They've got to work on their speed of getting there, just getting to the tackle. Quicker. 2nd and 14. Loss of 4 on that play. Hops 1 tackle. That's better. Vastbinder jumped him. Half pushed him out of bounds there. That's a good job there. Defensively for the Huskies, I said it earlier, Aaron Martindale is clearly, without question, the player of the game offensively. And if you say Big D, duh, you can. It's that obvious tonight. What do we got going on here? Kind of creepy as Paul Campbell walks up the stairs slowly, Darth Vader style, and gets the Bloodhound's feet. Well, Sterling Heights, it looks like they're going to call a timeout here. Considering how big the play is and the pressure of the moment, well, it's the right thing to do by Brent Windows, certainly. 3:05 left on the fourth quarter clock, 47-42. Guaranteed, at least at this point, of no tie. But this game's been so insane, who knows? There you see Channel 6 banner below the Bloodhound, running the slow-mo cam. I believe that was Miss Galio up there as well. And for some reason, that camera room is always in the dark. Do they take some kind of better, shots that way or whatever? Maybe there's no lighting in there, period. I don't know. Said that to Ox one week, and he said, well, Big D, life is one big dark room. Okay. Huh. Words of wisdom. Sorta. From the 32, 3rd and 9. Right before snap, it looks like Coach Connell got a timeout. So they'll talk about it now. 2 timeouts left for the Huskies. 1 now for Sterling Heights. Not a bad call by Coach Connell to use the timeout here. Just make sure defensively you're set up and in position. And there's Paul Campbell coming in the booth now. So we'll talk to you. How you doing? No, just joking. Anyway, thumbs up, he says. All right. We've seen a beauty game. We have. Back and forth at least. It's been sloppy at times. Lots of penalties. Everything that could happen has happened. But at the end of the day, it's 47-42. As long as you win, what does the Big D always say? A win is a win. It's happening. Like it or not, how they've done it, it's happening. Big D, CPHS Channel 6. On this 3rd and 9, coming off timeout by Sterling Heights, timeout by Coach Connell. And we'll see if it worked. I think the Huskies are fortunate that Sterling Heights has really had no pass in this football game. It makes them one-dimensional. If they had both, well, who knows? This is a reverse to the outside. I think they wanted holding. Not enough. He had to get to the 41. He's only really standing the 39. And now it's a very interesting call on 4th down by Coach Widows. He has to go for it, let's face it. Because one timeout, you punt it away, it's not enough. This, folks, is more than likely the football game. It looks like 2. Scoreboard late to adjust. Here we go for the game. In a crazy game that has given us a little bit of everything. 4th down and 2. Crowd getting loud. Shotgun look, it's a keeper. Too much to the outside. There you go. Wait, fumble on the football field. Are they calling that one too late, though? Officials are saying down. Good thing for the Stallions, they are saying down. Martindale, of all people, gets up with the football. Officials are still saying Sterling Heights, and if nothing else, they're saying the Stallions have the ball, because in a game like this, in this situation, it's probably their safest call. You get less heat calling that one. It's safe. Anyway, the keeper. But look at this. They're still getting around tackle. Too fast for the defense. Passing, airing it out. He's wide open. Was he in bounds? He was in bounds. Hunt pushes him out. The 28. first down from there, and they've got plenty of time.
23, Oliver.
Well, now you might consider going back to your more basic runs. 23 was wide open to Quan Oliver. If you continue to run the football, it does open up the pass. It does. And whenever Sterling Heights has thrown it tonight, or a lot of the time anyway, they've been open. Oliver, but they're waiting outside this time. See, that's a lot better. You're waiting for the play. Whether or not they just had the play call right defensively and they said, well, you're going to try that again, we're going to get you. Were they waiting? Did they get over faster? I think they were waiting for him. Either way, though, that's what they've got to improve on the most for next week. Husky defense around the ends. Because that's been a big problem here tonight. Let's face it, it has. 2nd and 7, man in motion again. Reverse again. Well, one too many reverses, but he gets to the outside anyway. 15 to 13 to 12. First down. I was about to say, too many reverses. You never run this many reverses in a football game, but it's working tonight. And you're playing with fire. You're really taking a big risk when you keep running reverses like that, because obviously it's behind the quarterback. Look at how much of a loss they would have had there. Actually, that's close to a kick. That could have been called, actually. Fake one side, it's a counter the other. Cleghorn, see ya. Bye-bye. Touchdown, Sterling Heights. I don't think I've ever seen two defenses tackle like this. And I'm not picking on anybody. It's my props as being an announcer. I'm just speaking the truth. Goodness. Are they going to go for two now? One really doesn't do them a single amount of good. And the kicking game has not been solid. So keep that in mind. And I'm not just talking about extra points or field goals. I'm talking about the kickoffs themselves. So in knowing that, this is far from over. 2 timeouts Huskies, 109. They're likely to get field position somewhere, at least at the 30 or 40. So, it's an instant classic, and one I definitely want a DVD for. Hint, hint, Channel 6. If nothing else, because you see nothing like this usually. Insane, long, lots of scoring, but enjoyable because it's close. Shotgun, drop, snap. They're going to floor them. So something to cheer about there at least. I believe it's 52 again, Ethan Booms. I think the linebacker core on the whole really are the defensive players of the game in this game for me. To name off a few of those guys tonight that have made, a big contribution, Logan Culp, who might I add has a very bright future. Definitely. Because he's just a sophomore by the looks of things. Zach Kane has played well at times. Ethan Booms has played very well. One of his better games, I think. So naming a few, especially those guys right there. So they're my defensive players of the game. Offensively, there's really only one. Although kind of in a way that's unfair to Kyle Birch, who has really had a great game running the football. He has. But Martindale has to get it, just simply because he is the one force in this game and the one reason the Huskies are even in the game, period. Besides maybe Birch. If you're Sterling Heights here, you've got to be sure, if there's one kickoff tonight that you have to make sure you boot with all you got, it's this one. And I wouldn't think they'd squib this. You never know. I'm almost speechless on the mere thought of it, on the mere possibility of what more craziness can happen in this high-scoring affair. They do squib it, kinda. Off the bounce, though. Went further than they'd like, but here goes Martindale again. He's outside. Look out. Gets a block. 45. Martindale midfield 48. Downed at Sterling Heights 48-yard line. I told ya, there's a chance. Martindale, give me a break, man. Wow. Look at him get up and kind of... I wouldn't doubt he's hurt. I wouldn't doubt he feels it tomorrow. The game of his life. Forget offensive yards, although they're impressive. Forget special teams yards, although they're impressive. I'd like to see what Martindale's total yardage is, period. This is the tape you want to send away, Aaron, right here. To our final minute. Can the Huskies pull magic again? Hunt to pass, middle, caught. 30, down 29. Ryan Hunt again. Guess what play they just tried to run, folks? Hunt on the crossing pattern, which won the game for them against East Detroit. Here they go again. And how many times are they going to try that one again to Hunt? I would say we haven't seen the last of Hunt for the mere possibility. Birch passing again, waiting. Now he takes off. Birch, 30, 25. Spins forward, 16-yard line. First down, Huskies. Clock is going to stop temporarily. 37 seconds left now in the fourth. And now you have to think. You got to watch the clock. What's Sarah Vanderhoovel's leg like from far out? Is she just there for extra points? Or are the Huskies looking at punching it in for the win? We'll see. Here he goes again. Birch, 10. Cuts up 7. Spin move 5. Second and goal now. And a timeout for the Huskies, and rightfully so. There's not a lot of field to work with here. They still have a timeout left, too, so good, smart clock management from Coach Connell. Well, look at the hole. He had all day to throw, first off. If you have all day to throw, and there's nobody really in the vicinity, yeah, take off. Right decision, absolutely. A crazy game. It looks to me like Huskies are about to reap the benefits of it. There's a frustrated coach. Brent Widows, he thought he had the game won. But again, it goes back to special teams. Do they have kicking issues? Yes, clearly. Kickoff issues? Absolutely they do. But you know what? Even in that situation, do you really want to kick it far enough to get to Martindale? Now that I think about it, maybe you do squib kick it. Even though they kind of did. But with the idea of just not going far enough for Martindale. It's really a toss-up the way he's kick returned in this football game. Anyway, here we go. Man in motion. Fake. Birch. In with the touchdown. Unbelievable football game. Kyle Birch. And I just thought of something. It is unfair to not call him player of the game. So I've got to change my opinion and just say at least, in the very least, Martindale and Birch together. Wow. The refreshing thing about Martindale doing it, though, is seldom do you see special teams dominance like this by a kick returner. That's why I give it to him. Birch, though, goodness, his rushing tonight. No defense in this game, folks. None whatsoever. Wow. 54-48. Big D's prediction from the get-go of the first one to 50. Well, folks, who was the first one to 50? You got it. But let's not count our chickens before they're hatched. It's one of those games. The Big D is seldom speechless. I'm close. Partially in a good way because of what the offenses have done. But, again, vice versa to that comment. but you have to feel good for the seniors on senior night. Spencer Vassbinder especially. Coach Connell, I don't understand what is with this Husky team, but the late game pizzazz and magic that we've, dare I say it, come to even expect with this team. It's off the charts. The pack is lining up far right in the end zone. They're going to rush the football field. It'd be something if they lined up and it didn't matter. I just hope they didn't go over there too soon. The way this game has gone, 17.4 seconds is a lot. It's been a great Wounded Warrior evening, exciting football, and a great senior night. Let's get nasty, Port Huron. They try a pitch back. They misplay the pitch back. Hunt jumps on the ball. Huskies have it. They're going to win it. Did they call for this? Did they not call for this? Did he just think, well, pitch it back?
Huskies, 1st and 10.
I'll tell you this, you don't do that. Absolutely not. Not with one timeout in the very least. Here you see it again. Good job to get it. Tough bounce, and then just a high pitch. And yeah, you don't do that. You can't do that. You can't afford to take that risk. Great game to be a part of. So Sterling Heights is going to fall to 1-7 and 0-5 in the gold. Northern gets the one win in the gold. They're going to go to 1-4. But more importantly, their 3rd win on the season. Folks, I've seen some wild games in my day. And I mean it, because you know darn well the Big D has seen a lot of football. But out of all of them, this might just be the craziest. And in its own way, for that fact, this was one heck of an exciting football game. As I catch my breath from a wild one and all of my earlier coughing fits, there you see it, folks. The final score tonight, Huskies 54, visiting Sterling Heights 48. Congratulations to the Huskies. It indeed was definitely a game to remember. For the entire cast of CPHS Channel 6, I've been, as I've always been, Derek Wark, the Big D. Until next time, work hard, sleep lots. Big D from a crazy game, from a crazy Memorial Stadium. See you next week, folks. Big D out. Wow.